Center Ice Arena. We are back. Welcome in to FPHL Hockey on the Delmarva Sports Network. The Thunder looking to avenge themselves after a loss to the Watertown Wolves last night within this very building. Folks, hope you're having a great night. Thanks for spending some of it with us. Zach Barnes alongside Kayla Santiago. Kayla, we're extremely excited for this contest. Obviously, just the Thunder finally starting to get into a roll seemingly soon. Picked up a couple of wins a few weeks ago.
Yeah, last time we were here, actually, we had this game on DSN. They were able to do exactly that. They did fall last night to this exact team, but they were able to pick up their first win earlier this season against this very team. So there's a little bit of bad blood between these two squads. It should be a fun night, a lot of physicality, but this Thunder team right now knows what the winning feels like. They know what it feels like at home, and they want to get back to that, especially here on Saturday night where they have all their fans right in front of them.
Would be certainly special indeed. I know we were talking kind of about that bad blood. Maybe the over-under on fights tonight is like 4.5 or so.
That.
Yeah, we saw a number of guys last time drop the gloves, including Charlie Pence Jr., who used to be a member of this very Delaware Thunder club, but he is not alone. There's a lot of returners to this squad who get to be right back here in Harrington once again, where they got things started back in 2019. Very special night inside of the arena, Kayla. We're going to get to see the Thunder come out here in a minute with some pretty snazzy kits out there.
Yeah, it's Cancer Awareness Night, and the jerseys, I mean, it provides just so much of that, and of course, playing for a great cause as well, and I think that's just another chance for them to kind of come out here and give it their all. We're going to see their jerseys, as you mentioned, in just a few moments, but for a great cause, and they also want to get a win for that great cause here this evening.
It would certainly be special in this first state of Delaware. We understand that the Thunder, as they continue to grow, will have some exciting news coming soon, but we're not here to spoil that. Tonight, it is game coverage on the Delmarva Sports Network. There is Charlie Pence Jr. wearing the number 32, current player coach for this team. We've seen a lot of those come to town. Tonight, Charlie Jr. gets to take on his dad's club here in Harrington. A little sibling rivalry. I have a little sibling rivalry with my sister. You got a sister, too. Maybe a little bit for you, too. And Lindsay?
I do. It's tough, absolutely. I mean, it's all love, but when you're out there, you're competing. It's like when you're playing in a card game or anything when you're younger. You don't want to lose at all. And in this game, it's the same way. As we mentioned before, a lot of players that played on the Thunder before are now on the opposing side. And you already know the fans are going to be at them. They're going to be chaotic. And these two teams like to fight it out. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a few stoppages here tonight.
Those stoppages are many here sometimes. Last time out, the Elmira Mammoth picked up 118 penalty minutes. Keep in mind, the game's only an hour long, folks, in terms of regulation. So they basically had 2 games worth of PMs. But as the Thunder crest graces your screen at home, the Watertown Wolves are taking the ice, getting ready for their performance. Third in the Empire Division. And their head coach, Stephen Esau, on a leave of absence. So it has been the aforementioned Charlie Pence Jr. and assistant Luke Cohen taking over in most of the coaching positions. This Watertown team has been dominant, to say the very least, in the FPHL 3 Commissioner's Cup champions, one of which came last year in 2020 when this team won 43 games. Had to be an electric feeling. Lights are going down here. The Thunder are going to get ready to emerge. It's going to be awesome to see them come out here again. Always a nice little entrance and atmosphere for these 700 fans that sell out the arena every night in Harrington, Delaware. The starting 5 for the Thunder are out there, but let's talk about the starters for the visiting team first and foremost as we get to our starting lineups tonight, brought to you by Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3 WRDE FM. There's Watertown, Kayla. Starting things up front, Parker Moscow, the absolute dominant leader of this team. He has just got so many goals this season and so many great appearances, 22 strikes in general, 35 assists for the center. He's out there with Elijah Wilson, Matthias Tellstrom, Don Carter Jr., and Charlie Pence Jr. will play back towards the blue line. And Owen Liskowitz coming into the goal. He has split time a lot this year we didn't really know who we were going to be able to get tonight. Was it going to be Adam Wisco? Was it going to be Owen? Last-minute change here for Watertown. They're going with number 60, who is 8-11 this season. And then, of course, on the hometown side, the Delaware Thunder. Houston Wilson got to be out in center. Denis Gafarov on the wing. Opposite of him, Danila Malushkin, the Russian sharpshooter, one of the youngest players on the team, definitely one of the most effective. The defenders, a prime combo, one of the most effective for Delmarva this year. Dmitry Daniluk, who was acquired in a trade from Elmira, and Andrei Ivanov. And then, of course, that constant in between the pipes, Trevor Martin.
We talked about it all season long. Martin has just been so consistent and so good this season. We saw that last time here on the Delmarva Sports Network when they picked up their first win in over a few months here at home. And he's going to need to be a big key tonight for this Thunder team to be successful.
It looks like the Thunder are opting to go with a quick change instead of Martin. Believe it or not, folks, it is Jacob Njeko. We're going to sign off here for a few moments while the national anthem plays, but FPHL hockey is coming up next on the Delmarva Sports Network. Stick with us, Thunder fans. Anthem has played. So 2 last-minute goalie substitutions here on this Saturday night. It is Jacob Njeko. The very first time we are calling a Thunder game without Trevor Martin in between the pipes. We'll see how things bode for him here as we get started for action.
I mean, Martin has been consistent as any, so this defensive line back there is really going to have to put in the work, especially when they're used to Martin being in between the pipes.
Yeah, and Martin's just been an absolute savior. I mean, he's been standing on his head all season long, just making absolutely insane plays left and right. This is not an easy gap to fill, but it seems like we will have the opportunity to see what Njeko can do. He is 0-2 thus far with an overtime loss. 130 shots have been attempted his way. He saved 113 of them for an 87% save percentage. Here we go, Kayla. The Thunder and the Wolves. It's Wilson and Trevor Lord, who is out on the first line right now. Looks like lots of changes for Watertown. They've also got Dakota Seaman out there, and also John Amantidis, who is scrapping early with Danila Malushkin. So as Watertown begins to build up their attack, see if they can even clear the defensive zone here, as Lord will play this one up and ahead. Amantidis chasing with Ivanov. Recoupled by Lord. Takes the shot inside and scores! Trevor Lord has already put one on the board. And the night is not off to a good start for Jacob Njeko.
I think Watertown just knew exactly what they wanted to do right there. The defense was outnumbered by the Thunder. As we take another look, it's too easy right there. He saw the exact opening, saw a goalkeeper going the opposite way, and that's just a textbook shot right there. Watertown starting off big.
28 seconds into the game, Trevor Lord has added a goal that I don't think anybody saw coming here, his 10th of the season, and it's an extra sweet one for Lord, as he was a member of the Thunder both earlier this year and last season. Something fun to talk about on the Thunder on a more successful note. Houston Wilson, who's not out there on the ice right now, but number 7 getting the call up to the ECHL. Last week, got an opportunity to play a few games there and is now back with his hometown crew. This is Marquis Grant Mentee skating in, fires. Liskowitz comes up with the save. Lots of jostling afterwards.
I thought already we might be seeing that first fight. The officials trying to break it up right now, but Thunder doing the right thing, coming back aggressively on the offensive side. Having that other goal be a little bit of a short memory and trying to attack with some slap shots.
John Amantidis receiving the lone assist for Watertown on that play. The scoring one, that is, as Marquis Grant Mentee loses control of the puck. And a big hit up against the boards. That's one that we even felt up here in the broadcast booth. Regardless, Delaware keeping it in the offensive zone. Marquis Grant Mentee thought he was slashed there for a second, or maybe hooked. Parker Moscow skating at pace. Tries the wraparound. Eyes up the point. Now moves back behind the cage again and has the puck jarred free for a quick second. Thunder now beginning to retool. They'll play it ahead. Quick line change here as we've got a penalty incoming, potentially for too many men here.
I think it might be on Watertown, as Moscow was pushing and shoving down on the other side after he lost the puck. And we'll see in just a moment who it will be on. It might be too many men, though.
Yeah, and they actually will call a slash here for a second on Parker Moscow, which means that the Thunder will have their first penalty or power play opportunity, of the night. They're just on a 15% success rate thus far this season, one of the lowest in the FPHL. But you know who's even lower than them, Kayla? Watertown, 14%.
This is the perfect opportunity for Delaware right now to get that one goal back that Watertown was able to start out with early on. You have an opportunity.
See what Delaware can put together as Dimitri Daniluk lost that one for a second. They'll have to flick it back and force their keeper, Njeko, to chase after it. Delaware's had a lot of trouble on the power play just clearing neutral ice. Danilo Malushkin is not part of that problem as he is able to knife his way through. Puck back to the point, though. Across the blue line to Malushkin. Delaware still with difficulty here, crossing things over. Malushkin takes back over. Elijah Wilson out on in front. Big hit there from Houston Wilson. Clutch play from him to potentially stop what could have been a shorthanded goal. Wilson possesses, though, back behind. Loses it. Daniluk feeds on. Now it's Houston Wilson for Delaware, not Elijah. He lost it for a second. McGuire, former member of the Thunder himself. Colton getting his second appearance against Delaware. Malushkin moving with speed. Goes up ahead to Melso. And offsides is called as that one just got over the blue line on the other end. 37 seconds to go in the power play. Hasn't been very effective thus far.
They haven't even really been able to get into their offensive zone and set anything up. Right now, the Wolves just completely having that momentum and being able to even penetrate in their offensive zone a little bit in this power play.
Big hit along the board. Some nice scrapping going on. We got our first fight here, kiddos. Austin Weber going at it with Sam Hrabchek. And Weber has grounded this one. They're both back up. And we'll call it off like that. Austin Weber and Hrabchek. Two number 19s going to the box for 5 minutes for fighting. All right, so if you took over 3.5, it looks good right now. It looks golden.
I did coming into it, and we talked about just a little bit of the bad blood these two teams have against each other. Not sure how it is off the ice, but we saw them earlier on in the year and just the physicality going on. And Zach, called more like an MMA fight in that first meeting between these two teams. Already one fight early on.
Well, I'm just thinking Weber connects with the glass, the plexiglass, right in front of Hrabchek's face there. That probably feels very bad.
Not good, especially in the cold elements as well. Can't really feel the best.
Both gentlemen, captains, getting a talking to very quickly.
You think that'll make them calm their teams down a little bit, or in the heat of the moment it kind of might happen again?
Yeah, something tells me we might see one or two more. Our referee crew tonight, Scott Pimento, Gordon Laws, Isaac Kessler, and Cameron Campbell. Appreciate their judicial review on the ice tonight. Electric start to the first period between the quick goal and the combat. Not so electric for Thunder faithful, though. Melso will go head-to-head here with Wilson. Lost it. Marquis Grant Mentee was bullied there on the inside. Daniluk at the point, though, goes to Ivanov. Now the shot's on and deflected away. Liskowitz, big save from him. Back across, though. Daniluk tries again. That one missed left. And rebounded and controlled. Matthias Tellstrom feeds up ahead to Parker Moscow. Shoots and scores! Parker Moscow came out of the penalty box and got to work right away. He's made this a 2-0 ball game.
The Thunder completely just missing that right there, not noticing. He came right out and was just up ahead everybody, and there was no chance for any Thunder defender to get back as we take another look here.
He's on an island.
Easy. I mean, there's nobody there. Perfect shot. Nothing you can really do, and just like that, the Wolves and the Thunder's dome up 2-0.
Jacob Njeko with just one save thus far, 2 goals allowed. Difficult night at the office for him. The Thunder could go to Christopher Pascal, who's only appeared in 1 contest for them this season, and just as a backup. Puck is frozen, though, by Njeko.
Njeko has just really big shoes to fill as well. We've seen Trevor Martin. We talked about him consistently and just how much of a bright spot he's been for the team this year and how many shots on goal there were and how many great saves he was able to make so far this season. So it's really not an easy spot to fill, especially when you're not the #1 guy getting all the reps with the starters.
That one went up and almost into the netting, but just stayed up against the glass. Puck was tipped awkwardly behind the net there. TJ Delaney trying to receive. Wilson lost it. Eric Oganezov was able to make the play up ahead, and Watertown now back in control. Talking a little bit about Njeko, 25-year-old, 6'1", 170 pounds from St. Francis Xavier, Quebec, Canada, has had a litany of experience in Canadian hockey leagues. It was the Winnipeg Blues Rookie of the Year in 2015 and the Fort Francis Lakers MVP in 2018 and 2019. Even strength hockey continues as this one is flicked down. Liskowitz will get it back to Charlie Penns, player coach, dictating the offense now. Tellstrom was able to go across the red line and play it ahead. But it's picked back up by Daniluk. Around the cage. Now moving far side. Marquis Grant Mentee. Quick pass that's intercepted by Elijah Wilson. And now Grant Mentee. Skating at pace. Passes across. Centering was there, but wasn't able to be completed. Parker Moskow now forced to go back around. Thunder faithful. He's changed jerseys about 9 times, but Rocco DiCostanza is wearing the number 17, for those that didn't know. Tellstrom with pace, fires in. That one was just blockered away. Najeko coming up with a big play.
That one took a weird bounce, too, off the ice, and Najeko playing it perfectly. Another test here.
Dakota Siemens, backhander, goes right stick side to Najeko, who will freeze it then and there. As we get a quick pause in the action for everyone to grab a little high-quality H2O.
Right now, the Thunder just getting beat with stick steals and speed against the Wolves, not getting backed it a little bit better in that setting right there, but the Wolves, quick 2 goals. You're going to need to help out your goalkeeper here tonight because they're used to having Martin back there who's able to make these unbelievable saves.
Just does a good job of kind of working with his defenders, right? So many reps like that. I mean, it only grows familiarity and chemistry. It's no different than having a broadcast partner in a way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's what I mentioned before. I mean, you're going out there and you're playing with guys that you might practice with, but you're not the first guy getting the first reps at practice, as Trevor Martin is usually the guy. So I'm sure there's a little bit of nerves, too. You already know this is a big game, a little bit of a rival as well with just that bad blood as we've talked about. So a lot of pressure on his shoulders, everybody knowing Martin's name and him trying to step into those shoes.
5 shots for Watertown thus far. 2 for the Thunder. That last goal from Parker Moskow, the lone assist. Matthias Tellstrom, who was the one who fed it to him way up ahead. Some changes here for the Thunder, who are getting set and ready. Getting to see Toivo Hannakainen tonight. First time for him, the Swede. Super impressive in his Thunder debut as another bone-crushing hit comes. That one from Dakota Seaman. We've had 2 good shakes of the broadcaster's booth. John Amantidis dumps it in, and it'll head back. Najeko, his whole team caught off guard there for a second. They thought he was going to freeze it, but regardless, crises avoided for Delaware. Watertown will gear back up. This is Lord. Positions himself. Fires that one up straight and into the glass. Retrieved now across the blue line. 2-on-2 battle. That's Oli Venstrom. Melso comes up with it. His backhand. Played across the boards. Lord possessing now. Skating with pace. Delaware's got 3 defenders back. One of them is Melso, who will play it along to Danila Malushkin. Pass intercepted by Zach Horn. And now Watertown crosses into the offensive zone. Centering pass goes across. Just missed away for a moment. Larry Yellowknee picks it back up. Big save, though. Nice play from Njeko. Now Houston Wilson. Delaware's got 2-on-2 hockey here. Danila Malushkin cutting inside, working on Lincoln Gingerich. Malushkin absorbs the body. Still moving. He is just so finesse time and time again as Delaware is going to earn themselves a power play here. We got one coming to the booth, and it appears to be Gingerich, probably for that quick little stick that he threw on his way down. See what the official signifies. He will say a hook. So 2 minutes for hooking here for Lincoln Gingerich. Second power play of the game for Delaware.
Once again, an area the Thunder have struggled with all year, but now you just got to get more penetration in that offensive zone. You allowed Watertown to take it out of there way too much. Down 2-0. Much needed goal here.
There was an opportunity there for Oli Venstrom, who lost his footing. Malushkin works it to Houston Wilson, fires, and that one Going up and over, Elijah Wilson hitting the deck. He was the one to cause the awkward bounce that sent that one to Souvenir City. Minute 47 left in the power play.
Right in the middle there, just unable to get the stick on the puck. A good hit inside.
Watertown certainly no stranger to physical play. Malushkin retrieves it along the blue line. Uses his right foot to keep things going. Fires inside, but it's blockered away and cleared out. So good stuff from Owen Liskowitz thus far for Watertown, who has been perfect on his first power play and perfect through 40 seconds of this one. A minute 20 to go for Delaware. Malushkin knifing through. Plays it back. Baker was there, but Delaney able to get to it first. Wilson across the point, goes to Malushkin. Now inside, TJ Delaney, the backhander, he scores! TJ Delaney, dangle, do. Massive score for number 23 as we get another look courtesy of 93.5 The Beach.
Just a phenomenal play here. More peppering that offensive zone. Backhanded, put it in the perfect spot. And we mentioned before, a much-needed goal for the Thunder. I know it's early on, but for them to be able to get that confidence back, be able to put one on the board during a power play, which they struggled at all year long, and now cut the deficit to just one goal.
Delaney's 5th goal in his 20th game for the black and silver, although tonight the pink and black and silver. Cancer Awareness Night, once again, in case you missed our pregame show. That's why we got these fancy kits on today. I feel like I don't need to tell you this, but Delaware in pink, Watertown in white. Jacob Wolf getting it along the boards now. Lost his footing. Comes back around. Marquis Grant-Mentee fired that right off of the thigh of McGuire and loses his helmet there for a second. McGuire, that is. And that'll stop play here for a brief moment.
I think he's talking to the official saying he tossed my helmet off. How is that for me? I'm just frustrated in the call, and right now, penalties really adding up for the Wolves.
That they are. It looks like they'll be able to potentially avoid one here. I think it was just some jawing there for a second.
Yeah, it looks like just the force of the hit there. Maybe that little shoulder forced the helmet to come off. Luckily, wasn't near being too hardly checked. It could have been worse.
And safety's paramount here. Fortunately, we have, knock on wood, yet to see a really bad injury for either of the programs that are within the Thunderdome on these Saturday nights. Hoping it'll stay that way. A returner for the Thunder, Justin Movali, is back after missing a little bit of time. Movali typically part of that third line of defense. He's got the puck right now wearing the number 95 instead of his usual 44, which has been taken over by Grant-Mentee. Puck's played along the blue line. Wilson got tied up there with Dimitri Daniluk. Now Jacob Wolf. Back around. Just missing Movali, who was able to glove that one down inadvertently. Wilson tried to feed it to Parker Moskow. It went off the boards, took an awkward bounce. Now as it heads towards the blue line, Matthias Tellstrom fighting for it. And a good scrap inside. Jacob Wolf throwing the high hand. Tellstrom was looking for a penalty. Another big hit along the glass. Movali absorbing that one. And Pens will send this one directly to the keeper. Jaco resets. Now it's a mad dash for the puck. Ole Venstrom able to get it. Don Carter Jr. working against him. Played along the boards. Yellow Knee dishing out a big hit in return. That one right back at Austin Weber, perhaps for his little brawl earlier. Yellow Knee, another big hit. He laid that one down. And there's an injured Thunder player and a hand up in the air. Yellow Knee led with his thigh there, but he delivered an absolutely merciless hit that ends up striking Toivo Hanakainen, who's going to need some help here from Delaney and Grant Mentee to get himself over. Penalty is most definitely on the way for Watertown, but this is not a good look. Somebody that you just signed a couple weeks ago could just be some bad, blunt trauma. We get another look at it.
Yeah, you could tell he couldn't put pressure on that right foot. It looks like his right leg just gets completely taken out there.
Oh.
Doesn't look too pretty, especially that he wasn't able to skate off on his own. Maybe something that he just needs to shake off, but that hip and leg and how he kind of did a 180 there, it's going to hurt.
Now, we believe that this is going to be a game misconduct. And if that's the case, Larry Yellowknee is done. He will not play anymore. But we will await that official ruling here in just a moment. 5 minutes of power play time for the Delaware Thunder. But shorthanded, the Wolves. And ironically enough, it is not game misconduct, but in fact, kneeing for Larry Yellowknee. So that equals 5 minutes inside of the box, but it does leave him eligible to return. Lord playing it along the side. Already 30 seconds off of this power play, and the Thunder have been doing most of the defending thus far.
Once again, just important for them to utilize the Wolves' mistakes. One too many penalties on Watertown. The Thunder trying to make them pay, but right now Watertown has been doing a good job of not letting them get anything set on the offensive side of the puck.
Malushkin begins to accelerate. When he gets in his zone, it's hard to stop him. Ivanov goes to Wilson. Plays it forehand now to Delaney. Working with Don Carter Jr. Tough scrap inside. Delaney's able to win it back. Wilson looks across. Malushkin went for the baseball swing on it and missed everything. Inside of 3 minutes, 40 seconds on the Thunder's power play. And a goal here would be massive. Danila Malushkin turns it over. Tellstrom looking to clear. Stopped at the blue line, though, by Delaney, but the official is going to say it just creeped over. And we get a quick break in the action here with a timeout.
The Thunder showed resilience in that last power play, being able to get the goal through. It's exactly what they need to do here as well. It seems like they're the more calm, cool, and collective team coming into this. Don't seem as frustrated. Of course, a lot of the penalty minutes right now have gone towards Watertown. But you also need to make do of the opposing team's mistakes early on.
And truthfully, Kayla, those mistakes, I feel like, are the reason that Watertown's got that 2 in their score graphic. I mean, it's just been 2 bad instances, especially the Moskal goal with him just freeing himself from the box. Coincidentally, at the same time, you turn the puck over in the offensive zone, and then that gives him the one-way trip to go down there and try to do his absolute best, which he clearly did against Jacob Njeko.
Yeah, I think the Thunder tidied up their defense just a little bit, but that's one thing you can't keep your eye off. You have to realize that switch is coming in and get back as quick as you can, because once again, you leave your goalie on an island. And with the backup in tonight, that's not going to go well.
Melso and Tellstrom for the face-off, and Melso just elects to flick it down and have his teammates chase after it. DiCostanzo losing the battle, though, to Baker. Chaos up against the board. Solid hit dished out by Elijah Wilson. Marquis Grant Mentee now with it. Goes across. Now fires. Rocco DiCostanzo. Second shot opportunity. Weber sent that one up into the netting.
Weber with such a pure opportunity right there. Watertown coming in on him, had the right side of the net to go through, just getting a little bit too much pickup on that shot.
3 minutes to go in the kneeing power play. Little tie up on the inside allows Don Carter to clear this one. And the Thunder are forced to chase. I'll tell you, these Thunder faithful, they're dedicated. Week in, week out, Kayla, they seem to just bring their best here. That's why this team has failed, or not failed, to sail out a single game. That was a bad way of saying they've sold out every game this year.
And even more fans than I think we saw last time we had the Thunder live on Delmarva Sports Network 2 Saturdays ago. Some fans standing here today because not enough seats. So you talk about faithful and loyal fans. Well, these Thunder fans are just that.
And especially considering the bad blood between these two squads. So many returners, including one of the guys who's out there on the ice, Chris Corrigan, wearing number 71, used to wear 15 for Delaware. Houston Wilson on the right side of the wing tries to dump it down. Penns Jr. gets his stick to collide with Rocco DiCostanza. Carter fighting in along. Venstrom tried to win it. Parker Moscow backhand all the way down to Dejako. Wilson will retrieve. A minute 45 now in the power play. Danila Malushkin has shown himself to probably be the best stick handler on this Thunder team. Gave us another example right there as Wilson fires near side, pop fly, deep left center field. That is brought down. Moskal able to clear it. It's hard to blame the Thunder for being patient on this long 5-minute major power play opportunity. But they just still have not been successful in any of their tries, as we've got a hand up right now. See who that is enforced against. It is a hooking call. And that one going against Matthias Tellstrom.
And the Thunder just offensively haven't been able to get anything set. And I think that's the biggest thing. Watertown just really playing that press-up defense right now and forcing them to go all the way back, which tires them out at this point. You can kind of see them going the length of the ice to get that puck back.
Thunder fans, I apologize. I did you dirty. TJ Delaney called on the hook there, which means we are at even strength 4-on-4 hockey for the next minute and 7 seconds. Once that's done, there will be 53 seconds of power play for Watertown. But this is what many would call the way hockey should be played. 4-on-4, Malushkin skating so fast he made Hrabchek lose his stick. Fires one right into the trapper of Liskowitz.
Liskowitz just right there, pointing his left hand out, almost like a catcher out there in between the pipes, snagging it, not allowing any opportunities to ricochet.
That goes well with the pop fly to deep left center. I couldn't believe that puck didn't hit the ceiling. Usually we see anything go airborne here higher than like 6 or 7 feet, and we get a stoppage. The ceiling pretty low here at Center Ice Arena. The Thunder Dome is very much a dome, a contained one. 38 seconds left in 4-on-4 hockey. This is Hrabchek. Passes across to Carter, who gains the zone on the right side. Carter is tied up for a brief moment. Daniluk has been in on him, has his stick there for a moment, nearly taken away. But Carter, skating at pace, shoots up into the glass. Good deflection from Ivanov to start that play. As he works along the boards, the puck will cross back over the blue line as the Thunder will begin to prep for their penalty-killing experience. Not before Malushkin snaps one, though. But that could cost Delaware here as Parker Moscow in on a 3-on-2. Yellow Knee takes the shot. It was right at the doorstep. But Moscow wasn't able to get there first. Penalty killing time for the Thunder. They're working at a 73% clip this season. That is the lowest in the FPHL. Yellow Knee's got it. 30 seconds to go here for Watertown. He gains the zone. Remember, Yellow Knee called for that kneeing call earlier, so he's got a lot of stamina after sitting in the box for 5 minutes. Parker Moscow takes it at center ice. Gains the zone. Looked for the centering pass. Unable to complete. Puck is flicked back down. And potentially one last chance for Watertown, but with this stoppage, it will not appear to be that way. So TJ Delaney will get freed from the box in 2-1. He's a free man. Elijah Wilson goes center to Moscow. Great defensive stick checking there from Dmitry Daniluk. Baker taking his time, eyeing things up, fires right into the breadbasket. Jacob Njeko picking up more saves. He doesn't look like the same man we saw earlier in this period.
Yeah, Zach just took the words right out of my mouth. I think after that first break in action that they had, maybe he just took a deep breath, had a drink of water, and just got into what he needed to. And ever since then, he's been very good, eye on the puck, and this is exactly what you want to see if you're the Delaware Thunder, because there's been a lot of shots on goal since then, and he's kept his calm, cool composure, and he's been able to make some big stops already early on in this first period.
All right, let's play a hypothetical. Jacob Njeko and Christopher Pascal go down. Kayla Santiago is asked to play in between the pipes. Kayla, how many saves do you make? Let's just go for the remainder of this first period. 3 minutes and 25 seconds.
I'll give myself a half because Zach Farnes is going to come in as a defender and dive in front to help me out. On his last night of broadcasting, he's going to save the day and make sure I don't look some on TV.
You got to go out with a bang, I guess, right?
I wouldn't be very good in all realness.
Can you ice skate?
No, I can't.
Okay.
At all.
All right, well, we should start there, man.
Yeah, I have no ice skating skills, and if you try to put a stick on my hand, I might fall.
But you were a dancer for many years, so this surprises me.
I was, but see, skaters need to have flat feet, and dancers need to have arched feet. I did learn that, because I said the same thing, and then I learned that fun fact, and it's completely different. And I also have duck feet, so they go out.
Yeah, but that's good if you want to, like, shuffle and stuff, you know? Not that that's the kind of dance you took.
Gotta learn how to ice skate first, but yeah. Wouldn't be too good.
Hey, I'm giving you at least 2 saves for the record. Big shot comes in and making his own save. Jacob Njeko. As the crowd rejoices for his improvements.
He's been playing well. I mean, once again, we talked about it at the top of the broadcast when we saw him come in. Big shoes to fill, and ever since that first break, he really has just kind of settled in for this Thunder team. I think the nerves are now gone as we have 3 and change left in the first period.
Zach Horn tried to work things in there. Good sign for Delaware. Toivo Hanakainen back into the game now on the defensive side. So that knee he took from Yellow Knee, just a flesh wound. Yellow Knee, speaking of which, just dropped to his knee for a shot but was unable to make so. Whiffed on everything there. He will retain possession of the puck. Played along the boards, though. Intercepted by Grant Mentee. And Grant Mentee doing some dancing of his own is collapsed upon. Feeds it to Jacob Wolf. It's back towards center ice. Okari. Chasing after it. Passes along. Yellow Knee will flick that one up. And it'll go back down into the Thunder defensive zone. A reset here. Andrei Ivanov. Gains the zone. Did it skillfully. Goes across the ice. Big shot. Ole Venstrom. Right into the chest pad. A great atmosphere in Harrington tonight, as per usual. Appreciate you guys spending some of your Saturday night with us. Want to remind you that if you have to leave the TV for any reason, you can download the brand new Delmarva Sports Network app, available for iPhone and Android users. Totally free. You can watch our live streams no matter where you are, so long as you have cell service. Or you can check out highlights, scores, feature stories, and a whole lot more. Icing is called. Going to give Delaware an offensive face-off opportunity with exactly 2 minutes to go in this first period of 3.
Thunder right now have been a lot more aggressive on the offensive side of things. A goal here would be big to round out this first period and try to tie things up.
Melso and Moskal both kind of whiffed there on the face-off. allowed it to go along the boards, and now Parker's able to get there and make the first play. But Venstrom able to get to it himself. A little bit of a soccer match breaks out against the boards. Don Carter fields it. Elijah Wilson passing out in front. Tellstrom one-on-one with Ivanov. And Andrei Ivanov gets it back for Delaware. The shuffling continues. Dmitry Daniluk nearly had that pass taken away in the defensive zone. Skating along. Tellstrom just got his feet tied up with Melso there, so no need for a tripping call. Don Carter with it along the glass. Tellstrom came off there, taking a look at his left hand. We'll keep an eye on him. As that puck is flipped up and into the rafters, it does connect with the ceiling. They're a perfect match, those two.
As you mentioned, the roof not super high here, and any puck that goes airborne most likely will hit the roof. The Thunder catching a break there.
Charlie Pens Jr. doing some stick tapping over to Ole Venstrom there, maybe trying to gauge his interest on a potential skirmish. Wilson will get his face-off opportunity now against Trevor Lord. 1:12 to go. Wilson played it out in front to himself. Malushkin providing the body, went for the knifing backhanded pass. Didn't work out. Played across the blue line and towards center ice. Delaware struggling with possession there. And Houston Wilson brought that one across the blue line just a hair too early before TJ Delaney was able to get himself back on sides. So a stoppage will give us a neutral ice faceoff.
And Watertown right now just really playing stand-up defense. Thunder really trying to get in rhythm. They're not allowing them to really get anything going.
So far, so good for those Watertown defensemen. Can't stay the same for this Thunder wing offense, which has struggled to be able to even get a shot opportunity here. As Houston Wilson turns the puck over, crab check. Passes to Lord, 30 seconds to go here. Shot goes in, and a nice leg closing save there. Caught it in between the 5-hole. Najeko has certainly turned his first period around. At one point in this game, he was 2 of 3.
Doing a much better job. I mean, he's just seeing the puck better. He's not allowing Watertown to get any easy shots. He's going to be a big reason for the Thunder's success and why Watertown has been able to go up big here.
That puck goes into the netting off of yellow knee. Kayla, you got to think also that just being able to make some strong saves, which we've seen from him, has maybe gotten that monkey off his back.
A lot of confidence being able to just be there for him. You know, you kind of get defeated. You see that goal go in so early and too very quickly, and then all of a sudden you're able to get stop after stop when you're left alone on an island. It gives you that confidence back.
Face-off won by DiCostanza. Delaware gains the offensive zone. They've got 4 on 5 now as they bring Ivanov across to make it even. And this should do it for period number 1. This little tie-up in the corner. Watertown knew it. Almost had a shot attempt from Marquis Mentee. And it looks like Charlie Pens is dropping the gloves here, folks. Junior, that is. He and Ole Venstrom. And Venstrom's going to keep him on and just skate away. Excuse me, that's Jacob Wolf there. So the end of the first period. I think so. Yeah, now it is. The replays coming to you from 93.5 The Beach. Very first shot, very first goal of the game, Trevor Lord. Welcome back to Harrington. Super solid stuff. And then this, Parker Moscow, fresh off parole, ready to get back out there and get to work. The Thunder doing their own damage. TJ Delaney, I don't think that was the celebration he was planning on, but the Thunder's tallest player at 6'6", using the backhand to score. Stick with us here on the Delmarva Sports Network, people. We got second period action coming your way. This is the first intermission. We'll be right back. Kayla Santiago, Zach Barnes. We'll see you in a second. any other. This is the moment so many fans look forward to. Bumper boats, life rafts, I don't know. What would you call them? I guess they're boats in a way because they're on top of water, technically. It's frozen water, though.
Bumper rafts.
Bumper
I think
rafts.
I'd be a little bit better at this than being a goalie like we talked about earlier on.
Well,
I was a beast at bumper cars, so it might be the same.
I think we might have to try that out one day.
It would be fun.
Zach Barnes alongside Kayla Santiago in the Thunderdome broadcast booth. Kayla, the way this game started, I think you and I kind of looked at each other and we were like, oh boy, this could be long for the Thunder. But they have really turned plays around so far, added a goal as well to make this a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just the Wolves' momentum coming into this was offense driven a lot of the time. But then you look at that first break, and I think that Jaco was really the big thing that kind of switched for this Thunder team. We talked about Trevor Martin and what he's been able to do for the squad all year long. He's not between the pipes today. You put him in, and he doesn't really have reps with these guys. I think the nerves and him just not playing with them got to him a little bit, and then all of a sudden it was like a switch. He was doing just so much more for this team, and when you have a goalie back there that can really help you out, it makes you be more confident on the defensive side as well. So I think the Thunder turned things around. Now, of course, power play is not their strong suit, and we've talked about that throughout the season, but I think right now this could have been a lot bigger of a lead for the Wolves after they were able to come up 2-0, and then the Thunder came right back with that one goal by TJ Delaney, and now they're only down by 1.
Yeah, it's a highlight-worthy stuff for TJ Delaney as we look at the highlights of this game so far. They don't just include the scores, but those are always welcome here on DSN as we get things started. All brought to you by 93.5 The Beach. 28 seconds into the game, not exactly the start that the Thunder had pictured out. Maybe it was, though, for Trevor Lord, who was able to strike first.
And I think that's when we looked at each other and said, all right, they've got all the confidence in the world. They want to come back in here and win once again. And then this is when you were really like, okay, as we take another look at this one right here. It was a tough start for Jaco, as we mentioned earlier on. And the Wolves just kept it going. I think they knew Martin wasn't in between the pipes. They were kind of taking advantage of this second-string goalie, realizing that he's not the guy, he's not the norm. And then all of a sudden, an extra man on to come in here right off the bench and easily making that one through. No Thunder player able to get back.
Yeah, I mean, that puck crosses the blue line, and quite literally the second it does, it's up ahead to Moskal, who gains the offensive zone, and that was pretty much all she wrote. You can't ask for better timing in that kind of situation, which is why so many times, Kayla, we hear the goalies tap their stick like that because, hey, you're going to lose this power play opportunity, but don't cough up possession because we got a free guy who's streaking down there. One of the most impressive goals of the season from TJ Delaney, unquestioned. He was able to receive with the forehand, move to the backhand, and flick.
Yeah, TJ Delaney saying, let's go, was super excited about that goal. It wasn't only a pretty one, but it was a big one as well. You're now only down by 1, and the Thunder were really just able to gain some confidence after this. Once again, we take another look, just a good pass and a better finish. I mean, nothing Watertown could do. TJ Delaney showing off a whole lot of skill on that play.
Absolutely prime pass, too, from Danilo Malushkin. Can't talk about that goal without talking about him as he picks up another assist this season. That makes it 14 for him in 23 games. Kayla, how do the Thunder, in your mind, take control of this second period, get ahead, give the fans exactly what they've been looking for?
I think right now you just got to figure out how to have better opportunity on the offensive possession. I think they're doing a really good job at getting back on defense, but Watertown Wolves' defense right now also is just completely throwing them off guard. They're not allowing them to get set. They're not allowing them to pass. So if you're the Thunder, you got to draw something up where you're able to try to fake them off a little bit so they're not able to read really every single play that you're doing in the offensive zone. I think it's going to be a fun rest of the game. I mean, it's a close one. We've already seen a fight, and I think it's just going to get even more physical, and these fans are ready to see it even more through period 2 and 3.
I like those points. I'll add one more to it, just possessing the puck in neutral ice. It's been the downfall for Delaware so many times this year. If you can win that battle in between those blue lines, certainly is going to bode well for a Thunder team that is looking for their 5th win of the season. Got off to a little bit of a heater for a while, winning 3 of their last 4. That being said, folks, we got some game stats coming your way next on DSN. Stick with us. We got FPHL hockey coming your way. Watertown still ahead by 1 goal. Harrington, Delaware. The Thunder looking to turn things around in their season, try to pick up their 5th win of the year. As we talked about earlier, they earned their very first win of 2022 against Watertown, so why not their 5th tonight? The team is working with a minus 106 goal differential this season, but Coach Lou Santini is confident that this second half of the year is going to end a lot stronger than the first half for the Delaware Thunder. Zach Barnes alongside Kayla Santiago inside of the Thunder broadcast booth. Appreciate you all spending Saturday night here with us. Kayla, sometimes numbers lie, other times they don't. But we get to look at them anyways, whether they're liars or not. Stats coming here for the very first period.
Yeah, and I think penalty minutes is the biggest thing that sticks out to me right now. I think the Wolves are really hurting themselves, just picking up those tick-tacky penalties and also, throwing the gloves down and trying to start some fights as well. So I think the Thunder haven't necessarily been able to take those opportunities. They did score on that one advantage there. But at the same time, I think it's gotten the Thunder's confidence back. It's allowed Watertown not to just strut all over them, to be able to carry some momentum and be able to stop the Wolves on the offensive side. So I think right now, if you're the Wolves, I get it's a physical game and it's competitive, but at the same time, you can't let those penalty minutes be opportunities, because eventually the Thunder is going to be able to capitalize on them.
7 penalty minutes for the Thunder, conversely, also jumping off the page. Just very disciplined hockey being played thus far. There was an early slash from TJ Delaney. 5 of those 7 minutes come from Austin Weber, who fought with Sam Hrabchak a little bit earlier. But solid stuff from a Thunder team that, in those first 10 minutes, did not look like a team that was going to be able to put up these kinds of numbers after the first. They get their first power play goal from TJ Delaney, the assist from Danila Malushkin. And as we alluded to earlier in the broadcast, I mean, there are so many former Thunder players on this Watertown roster. And conversely, the other way around too, so many Watertown players on this Thunder roster. Rocco Di Costanza used to play up there. TJ Delaney. Delaware right now are the same 5 that started this game. Ivanov and Daniluk playing defense. Wilson up front. Malushkin and TJ Delaney. Meanwhile, on the ice, 2 former Thunder players. Had to double check. 3, excuse me. Amantitis, Lord, and Pens Jr. Then there's Don Carter Jr. also, and Dakota Seaman, who was recently acquired from Elmira, so didn't have to make that big of a trip up upstate New York, but a little trip regardless. The fans are back in their seats. They've got cold beer and are ready for hot action.
Thunder trying to turn the pages here and start off hot like the Wolves did in the start of that first period.
Wilson wins the draw, and Delaware will possess to start things off. Legs are fresh. You can see it already. Malushkin tries to go behind the cage. One of that near side shot that was kept at bay. Liskowitz, big save. Trevor Lord coming back the other end. Crosses the blue line, gains the zone, but not before Dakota Seaman did. Offsides.
A good job by the Thunder defense being able to get back and cause Lord to try to move a little bit faster maybe than he wanted to. Doing a much better job of that in the end of that first period and carrying it over now to the early second.
Well, Watertown is angry about something. They were just screaming about it as we've got a quick stoppage here. I believe someone just jumped a little bit early there from the wing, so they're going to be sending Moskal back from center. And Wilson wins another draw. Puck is flipped up and around, and we're going to have to freeze this one towards the side of the keeper. Oh, what do we got here? Just some pleasantries. No gloves going down to the ice just yet. We have 1 fight in the first period for those keeping track at home for a grand total of 10 penalty minutes.
So the fans want it, banging on the glass over there. And once again, just 2 Wolves coming up on the Thunder. Just talking a little bit, but the official able to stop it before anything happened.
Gotta wonder if it continues, though, as the same lines are out there on both sides. Draw is won by Moskal against DeCostanza. And now Tellstrom dumps it in and around across the boards. Elijah Wilson there to it. Snapped around to Baker. Whiffed shot attempt there from Moskal. Came at a pretty difficult angle, though. Couple players tied up right now. Jacob Wolf, the nearest Thunder defender, he is able to get the initial poke there as it comes back around. Flicked in up against the boards. Daniluk retrieves. Then plays it off the official's skate by accident for a second. Marquis Grant Mentee with a head full of steam. Crosses against Akari. Rocco DeCostanza, former Wolf himself, earlier this season nonetheless. Possessing now, trying to get by his former teammates, but does turn the puck over. Watertown back pressing ahead. Krabchek thought he had nothing but open ice, but lost it there. DeCostanza, zone entry. Immediately loses it, though. And now a potential breakaway opportunity. Trevor Lord moving, scores! Trevor Lord, number 2 of the game. Watertown ahead by 2.
Lord just so good one-on-one. The stick work is pure, and right there, once again, Jaco left on an island, and that's just skill beating the Jacob right there as we take another look. Lord, just so good at it. And right there, nothing stopping him.
And dangling back and forth. Pushes the forehand through, though. His 11th goal of the season. He's made a big impact in 38 games now. Just becoming a gradual member of that first line over time. Quick stoppage on the ice. maybe for a puck that went into netting there, and will give the Thunder an offensive face-off opportunity. Early scores have been the kryptonite for the Thunder right now.
A little bit of deja vu. The first 30 seconds of that first period, it was Lord, and then first 2 minutes of the second period, it's him again. Just one-on-one, he's so talented, and the Thunder is not able to stop the quickness coming right out of the break.
Puck went into the benches there. Give us a center ice face-off. Melso won the last draw against Lord. Melso wins again. Daniluk presses it along, chooses to dump it along the boards. Weber, nice hit on Don Carter Jr., who gets the puck back after a crazy bounce. Corgan trying to play across the ice, had it taken away by Weber. Ivanov plays on up ahead. Oli Venstrom tied up with Grabchek. Don Carter, the defender, now putting the offense to use. Tried the back and forth pass, but another shot opportunity comes in, then the backhand. And that will force a quick freeze.
Good decision there, Manajenko, to freeze that and not let any chance of it playing on. Too many ricochets. Eventually able to glove it.
That would have been some kind of backhander there from Colton McGuire. Zach Horn and Houston Wilson here on this face-off. And Horn is sent out of the center in exchange for Larry Yellowney. Wilson wins the draw. Hannakainen tied up along the boards, allows Houston Wilson to break free. Malishkin tries to gain the zone. Delaney batted it around with his hand there for a second. He got close to the doorstep, but no opportunities. That centering pass missed everything. Shot opportunity from Hannakainen. Blocked down. Across the blue line, and Delaware will dump it in. They chase after it. Wilson, first to get there. Feeds over Delaney. Drops it off for Daniluk. Passes to Oganezov. Shoots right off of the ankles of Baker. Wilson doubles around. Spins again. Tried the backhand. Deflection there, but he gets it up back. Puck don't lie. Malishkin. Knifing around. Now tries a shot from way away. Had that one miss wide. TJ Delaney plays it across the boards. Wilson grabs it behind the cage. Oganezov claps it back down in. Malishkin tried the backhand. What a tremendous save and a bit of a silent whistle there for a second. Really prolific stuff there from Owen Liskowitz. Liskowitz 8-11 in 29 games this season, working with a 90% save rate, over 1,000 minutes of action.
That 90% showing, especially in that offensive setting, that the Thunder were able to create, working with the 2-goal pad right now, and once again, just able to track it down very quickly, not even giving a chance for the Thunder to allow it to ricochet right in front of the goal and get an opportunity for a putback.
Near side opportunity there came from Jacob Wolf, the Czech Republic native. His dad, a master of roller hockey in his home country of the Czech Republic. Prague is awesome, by the way. Those who haven't gone, highly recommend. Wolf. He knows it. Just from a little bit outside the big town, capital city. Cycled along. Nice tape-to-tape pass to Parker Moskal. In on the near side. Tried to shoot behind. And it is frozen and saved. Najeko. Didn't even have eyes on that one and just let it come in between his blockers. That could have been 4-1 with one extra skate movement behind him.
Like a perfect place, perfect time type of play. Najeko holding his breath there, realizing he didn't know where it was, and his defenders being able to do what they can to make sure that one didn't net through. But now, once again, the Wolves in their offensive zone.
Grab check. Tried on that near side attempt, fires it up into the netting, and then exclaims 4 letters that I will let you decipher. Chris Corrigan and Melso. Corrigan, of course, playing for the Thunder in his very first game in the black and silver. He had a hat trick. Now he wears blue and plays about 7-8 hours northbound towards the Canadian border. That one fired up and into the rafters.
Thunder fans trying to rally behind this team. Now they're down 2 goals. Deja vu of the first period right now. Wolves getting out to a hot start. We'll see if the Thunder can try to slow them down a little bit. They just offensively aren't able to capitalize.
Looking to repossess the puck first. Delaney put a nice little hit on there for a moment as the puck has to be frozen dangerously close to the pipe. It looked like for a moment that one was just lost by Jaco. Get another look at that near opportunity. That just comes right off the wall, nearly the bank shot, but skate is the first trap, and then Jaco finally getting his hand down to it to freeze the action. So far, so good in terms of a clean hockey game. No penalties through 5 minutes. Retrieved and fired away and into the netting. Shot opportunity came in there from Zach Horn.
It's all both sides right now. Just want to play a little bit more of an offensive game. The Thunder had the puck. They were trying to score with every opportunity they had, and then other side for Watertown.
And Larry Yellowknee getting into it right now with a couple of the Thunder players. And Yellowknee is skating back again. And he's alleging he heard something that was a little nasty on the side of the Thunder.
The official trying to calm him down right now. It must be such a tough job for the official.
And Larry Yellowknee is going to be headed to the locker room here. So he's containing himself along the boards here for a second. We've seen a lot of players try to use this back corridor to engage Thunder players.
Right now, just trying to calm him down and make sure he doesn't go and cause any more tension with the Thunder players. And a great shot here. Big deep breath, still looking for the Thunder players, and he's gonna just take a quick breather and make sure that he resets before he goes back out there.
Yellowknee has re-entered the ice here, but is jumping back on the bench, so perhaps have to wait for his return. Meanwhile, the 5 out there, Tellstrom, Wilson in center, Moskal off on the right wing right now, Pence and Carter. Starting 5s on both sides. They've gotten their ample opportunity to rest. And TJ Delaney wins his first draw of the game. Cracks a smile as he does it. Thunder dump this one along the boards. Delaney retrieves and is tied up. Backhanded pass, unsuccessful from Wilson. Thunder players looking to chase after it. Comes down. Moskal tried to knife it out of the air, but just missed it with the head of his stick. Malushkin tapping the ice, calling for the pass there for a second. He's knifed down just before the blue line by Marquis Grant Mentee, fielded by Pens. Be some matchup to see the 5'7" mentee clash into the 6'3" Charlie Pence. Mentee dumps for Malushkin. He's trying to work alongside Charlie, but is unable to do so. Contained hit at the boards. Toivo Hanakainen almost crossed the offsides line, but did not. Malushkin working at pace. Lost it for a moment to Carter Jr. Thunder defensemen are back, though. They've got numbers. Wilson, tape-to-tape pass to Tellstrom. Feeds inside. Shot opportunity. Parker Moskow. Oh, man. What weaving passing from the Wolves, who put up their 4th strike of this game. Parker Moskow has scored 2. Trevor Lord has scored 2. We get another look.
And Njeko just completely got fooled out by that. You see him go all the way left and then has to try to go full split there to be able to stop that puck. His momentum taking him the other way, and Moskow just taking advantage of that. The veteran right there doing what he needed to do, and now he has his team to a 2-goal lead. 3-goal lead, I should say.
Parker Moskow, goal number 24 this season. He's averaging over a 1.5 a game as the shot fired in from Austin Weber goes high off of the blocking deflection from Liskowitz. But now Watertown with a 4-on-2 kind of attack fired up. Lord was hoping that some hats might get tossed out onto the ice after that one. Although I don't think the Thunder fans would necessarily give theirs up.
I mean, Moskow or Lord that want the hat trick, and 13:30 left, a ton of time in the second period. Both of them right now just on that hot streak. And the Thunder, at this moment, have no answer.
Chase DeBari out there. First time we've called his name tonight for Watertown. The puck is charged up and fired just past Justin Movalle and into the breadbasket of Njeko. Thunder begin to work in their defensive zone, trying to cross it across the blue line, but Parker Moskow, that's Zach Horn, comes down with it. Played along the point. Austin Weber, speed kills. But it's foiled there. Lincoln Gingerich did a great job to get back. Solid hit from Pens on Melso there, who had to shake the hand after. Fired in by Ivanov, off the blocker of Liskowitz. Watertown possesses. DeBari. Passes to Gingerich, but Delaney is there doing some disturbing. Gains it back in the offensive zone for Delaware. Yellow knee, tied up with him. Hanakainen gets it onto the tape of Melso, but it was just a little bit too strong and will fire back around the cage. Trying to clear it there was Horn. Now Pens, up to Yellow knee. Hit on the near side. Malushkin gets across the blue line, has his chance. Danila Malushkin missed that one away, then tried the wraparound opportunity, and the goal knocked from its moorings.
Malushkin's stick just moving faster than the puck on that sequence. He had his defender completely beat, got out on the skates, but a little bit too quick to stick than the puck.
And the wraparound, Caleb, probably could have been there had TJ Delaney not been looking for the rebound opportunity, which is what he's supposed to be doing there, but he's only got one way to go, and that's forward and to the left, and that's exactly where Malushkin was coming from. Houston Wilson, Zach Horn on the inside. Thunder also have Eric Oganezov, Toivo Hanakainen, TJ Delaney, and Justin Movalle for a third defender out there. Although Hanakainen kind of playing that both wing and defenseman spot. Thunder wanted a trip there against Wilson, who went to the ice. They'll receive no such call. Or maybe they will. Late arm extended into the sky there. But the trip is called. It's on Larry Yellowknee. Or is it? We've seen the hand come up a couple of times, maybe on Pence Jr. Yeah, it looks like they will get him here.
Looks like Pence Jr. delivered the hit.
Yeah, and they will call interference instead. So it was the hit on the previous play from Pence Jr., not the stick that went in on Houston Wilson that will receive the call. So the Thunder owner, his own son, now in the penalty box. So much for nepotism, keeping you out of jail, huh? Dimitri Daniluk gets it back. Thunder on the 5-on-4 advantage. 1 for 2 tonight. That power play goal coming earlier from TJ Delaney. Stretched across. Lord going after it. Dumped in and around. Almost got a little hairy there for Najeko. Malushkin lost his footing there for a second. Gets it back. 90 seconds to go in the power play. Ole Venstrom pushing ahead. Plays it along the boards. Wilson's there to retrieve it. Trying to pass, and does so. Malushkin across the point. Daniluk, one-timer. Just kicked away. Wilson repossesses. Dumps underneath to Delaney. TJ Delaney continuing to possess the puck well in this contest as it heads back up to Malushkin, now to Ole Venstrom. The Swede trying to play inside, has it taken away for a moment, and it is cleared away successfully. Colton McGuire, though, unable to get it across the blue line. The man who is Sam Krapchek. Tie-up still along the blue line. Thunder have not been able to possess significant time here in the offensive zone. Krapchek, though, second over the ice to Parker Moskal. Give us a center ice face-off.
36 seconds left in this power play. If you're the Thunder, you don't want to let the Wolves get too ahead of you. Lost in tough fashion last night, but do have a win against this team.
Interesting little draw there. Melso tried to kick it away. Ends up being possessed by Watertown. Moskal repossesses. It's 2-on-5 right now. And a shorthanded opportunity for Watertown. 15 seconds left on the power play. Marquis Grant-Mentee lost the puck for a second on a pass to Ivanov. Gets it back. Goes up top. Shot comes in. Weber had it go off of the ankle of Carter. And the penalty box is empty now. Tellstrom will return to the action as there's a big tie-up. But there are now officially 12 guys on the ice. Ivanov skates backwards. Dishes to Melso. His tape-to-tape pass just missing away, and icing is called because of it.
All right, now the Wolves, after that first period of action, just in all assets, really, I'd say maybe outplayed the Thunder here. It's a little bit quicker, a little bit more physical, a little bit faster. They've taken advantage of the Thunder's mistakes. On the other side, Delaware just unable to do that.
All right, so earlier I said that Watertown made the multi-hour trip down from upstate New York right here to Harrington, Delaware. Now, I pride myself on being a man of geography, enjoying that from time to time, so I'll ask the audience and my color commentator, from the very spot, the Thunderdome, no traffic, how long does it take to get to Watertown, New York? Keep in mind, it's close to Canada. I mean, you are very close to Canada. But you are north of Syracuse. You're west of Burlington. Kayla, your best guess, please.
9.5 hours.
Maybe with you driving.
Oh, God.
I'm just kidding.
It's not calling me a fast or slow driver.
Kayla's a good driver, people. She's from New Jersey. Everyone knows they can drive. Kind of. It's 6 hours and 5 minutes.
6 hours and 5 minutes. Okay.
Not too
That's
bad.
not too bad at all.
I thought it was more.
Yeah, I would think it was more just because you're coming from Delaware, which is very south compared to where I'm usually from in Jersey. But
Oh, yeah.
that's not too bad at all.
We're real southern down here. A goal was just scored as I was throwing on the Froghorn Leghorn impression. That one registers for Baker, makes it a 5-1 game. Sam Hrabchak coming up with that score. We were having too much fun up here for a second. The replay brought to you by 93.5 The Beach. Yeah, that one just came from right basically on the elbow, you would call it on a basketball court, but inside of the offensive circle. Watertown has opened this thing up again. They won 6-1 last night. They've got a 5-1 advantage right now. Danila Malushkin takes it at the red line, plays it across. The line drive is caught by Baker, puts it down, plays it up ahead. Retrieved back by Hannakainen. Malushkin gains the zone, fires down low, blockered away, and then sent all the way back. But look out, here comes Sam Hrabchak. He's first to it, centering pass, saved. Jaco, fantastic stuff. Redeeming himself from the last opportunity that came towards that exact section of the goal. Played over and across. That was the 9th goal of the year for Sam Hrabchak. Moves up to 23 points total on the season for Watertown. Malushkin fights off the stick. Puck went into the air and nearly bounced into the back of the twine. But Watertown catches a lucky break on a deflection. Now they gain the zone. 2-on-1 opportunity. Jaco missed it. Then played it off his back there for a second. Whatever it takes to get the save done. Delaney crosses the blue line. Malushkin snipes, but has it blocked away by Yellowknee. Carter looks to clear. Finds Mo Valley, who will work it back down across the boards. Carter will retrieve. Colton McGuire. Now goes inside, Zach Horn. And a diligent offensive pursuit going on right now. Dabari's shot connected with the stick of Mo Valley, so they'll cancel out. 7:50 to go in the second period. It has not been a good one for Delaware. 3 unanswered thus far in this span. But could they answer here? Jacob Wolf trailing in on Gingerich, and the hand goes up immediately. And Yellowknee is tied up over there for a second with Jacob Wolf, who is most definitely headed to the penalty box. A bit of bad luck, I think, there, Kayla, because the footing is what comes out at first from Lincoln Gingerich, and then he's almost slammed kind of perpendicularly. We'll get another look here in a second as we just make sure that fisticuffs won't start flying out here.
Yeah, and I think on this play, you're exactly right. Just how it looked pretty bad. Him going sideways.
Oh,
he wanted the check, clearly, but can't do it like that.
Call is boarding. It's for 2 minutes here. Yeah, maybe just some caught an edge, as we would say in the snowboard and ski world. We'll give the Wolves their second power play opportunity of this game. Wolf, once again, 2 minutes for boarding.
Now, if you're Watertown, you already have a substantial lead. You're looking at just keep tacking it on. Now you have an advantage. This second period has really been theirs completely. I mean, the Thunder just have no answers for them on the offensive or defensive side of the ice.
They're not going to stop running up the score if they get the chance to. With the bad blood between these teams and the number of players that are oh so familiar with each other, adds kind of a element of personal, almost revenge, so to speak, for some of these guys that were here for some time, especially the likes of John Amantidis, who only saw 1 win in a Thunder uniform, as the puck is cleared back. Now, here's something interesting that was not put up on the board until now. These are offsetting penalties. Charlie Penns Jr. is also in the box for the second time today. We will find out why. But so no 5-on-4 advantage for Watertown, clearly. Instead, it's 4-on-4 hockey, but if you guys can count, you already did that. So far, shots have overwhelmingly favored Watertown in the second period at 9-5. Their goals scored this period, all even strength. Trevor Lord, Parker Moskal. And they're actually going to credit Chris Corgan for that third goal. He and Hrabchek both had the puck to it. So Corgan scoring back in the Thunderdome, but under different threads this time. So the boarding was called, and now we officially have it posted. Unsportsmanlike conduct, a minor on Charlie Penn's. And a warning, his next one will be a 5-minute infraction, and then after that, disqualification.
Yeah, and if you're the Wolves right now, I get it's a physical game, but you're kind of questioning why, as you had another opportunity to keep running this score up. No chance for really the Thunder to come back if you're able to get another goal. Shouldn't say no chance, but it would be a long, big comeback if they were able to with the advantage for power play.
4-on-4 hockey opportunity here. Oh, man, the sixth goal was just waiting there for Chase Dabari, but it was sent up and away. Najeko was flattened out like he was planking there for a second and almost gave up the chance. .111 in Purist Hockey. Rocco Di Costanza loses the draw for Delaware. Shot is fired in and will force a quick collapse there from Najeko, who almost seems like he lost the puck there for a second as it ricocheted and went into air, but hard to blame him on that one when it's coming off of a quick, fast draw.
Yeah, and right now, Najeko just being really tested. Thunder defenseman not able to get back. He's left on an island for quite some time.
Shot in from Lord that goes up into the twine. He's got number 3 on his mind in a big way.
Might be a matter of who's going to get the hat trick for the Wolves first.
You can't say that, Kayla. We're the Thunder commentators.
You know, Thunder player has 2 goals, but still a ton of time left in period number 2.
Delaney would be the one to do it right now. He has the lone mark for Delaware. Maloshkin got it to Ivanov, and now Hamakainen, who turns it over in the defensive zone. Trevor Lord had it poked away, though, by Ivanov. His stick checking has been fantastic today. Rocco Di Costanza played it low. Easy pickings for Liskowitz. Hasn't really been challenged at all this period. Hrabchek and Lord into the zone. 17 seconds left here. This 4-on-4. Hrabchek to Carter. Gains the zone. Begins knifing in. Carter's shot goes off of the elbow blocker. Good save. Jacob Najeko. But gained inside. Shot goes in from McGuire. Then posted around on the nylon. Matthias Tellstrom now with it. Pressured by several defenders. Danila Maloshkin's the one to take it away from him. And as Maloshkin stick handles, gonna allow for his offense to reset. Quick change for a couple of the Thunder players. Danila is one of them. Line change is on. Toivo Hanakainen absorbed a big hit there for a second from Lincoln Gingerich, who was slow to get back up. And Gingerich was across the blue line there, hence the offsides call. Otherwise, Parker Moskal could have had himself another good opportunity, but that was a vicious hit, dished out. Excuse me, to John Amantidis. Amantidis in considerable pain right now on the bench. He's taken off his helmet and his gloves. Oh, man, yeah, that face. They say a picture's worth 1,000 words. Video's got to be worth 10 times that. Amantidis gathering himself, former member of the Thunder this year. It was fun to watch. But now, he is part of the enemy, relatively speaking.
And right now, I mean, the Wolves just having their way, as we've mentioned before, in this second period. Thunder, not really any way to stop them at the moment. The momentum all on the visitor side. Jaco has had a tough game stepping in, had a very good end of that first period, but the second period, I think the Wolves just were overpowering him a little bit too much. Still a lot of game left to play.
I give credit to Njeko simply because you're not going up against a team that doesn't have finishers. In fact, they've got a ton of them. You look at the top of their list, Moskal, Elijah Wilson, Tellstrom, Chris Corrigan, too, a part of that. Sam Hrabchuk, Trevor Lord, who's put 2 in tonight. John Amantidis for Delaware played in 20 games this year, by the way. 4 goals, 7 assists. 43 shots on goal in the black and silver. 4-on-4 hockey is over as the offside hands goes up. The icing, excuse me, that'll bring us all the way back down. DeCostanza and Horn, get ready. Rocco able to win the draw for Delaware. Possessed now by Hannakainen. Toivo dumps the pass ahead to DeCostanza, now with Marquis Grant-Mentee. Cuts across, blue line interception. Extraordinarily well played by the defense of the Wolves, but the big play there coming from Sam Hrabchuk. Backhanded pass from Daniluk, finds Grant-Mentee along the boards. Lots of stick tapping there from Lincoln Gingerich, just enough to make number 44 lose his footing. Speaking of losing his footing, Wolf going down. Pens, backhanded pass. Looking to link up here with Chase Dabari. Dabari looking to dump it off. Gets it back to the team captain. Gingerich. Larry Yellowknee. Now up ahead, Zach Horn. Crosses the blue line. Horn fires in and scores! The deflection. Chase Dabari got the stick on it first. Thunder, my goodness, overwhelmed right now in this second period. They've given up 4 goals.
That couldn't have been any better there by Horn. You could tell he was pumped up by that shot going through. Just straight on shot. We're going to take another look here.
Did Dabari have the deflection? If not, then it's Zach Horn. Yes, it is Zach Horn. And this is monumental for number 26, folks. It's his first FPHL goal. Congratulations to Mr. Horn.
Very excited about that, coming in a big game, and not an easy shot either, getting it straight through.
The holes of Delaware's defense have been exploited time and time again. Puck's pushed up. Tellstrom, fancy move in between the legs, spins, but lost control of it as Delaney made the interception. Colton McGuire winning the battle at the blue line. Now Baker, numbers here for Watertown. They're right at the doorstep. Near side opportunity went off of the woodwork and then fired in again. Save made by Njeko and a quick freeze as well.
Tell just the center defense is tired right now. I mean, you're constantly having to get back. They got to kind of get back to what they were able to do in that first period. And I know right now it's a large deficit, but there's still a lot of game left to play. The Wolves, as you mentioned, Zach, showing the Thunder's holes in their defense and completely taking advantage of it here tonight.
And they've got the same exact mark that they had last night, 6-1. Only difference is that was the final last night. There could be many more goals to come here. Or none. But that would be a lot more boring to announce as Corrigan fires inside. It is frozen by by Najeko.
And as we mentioned before, I don't think the Wolves are necessarily going to try not to score in mercy of the Thunder if they have opportunities to here with the last 2:46 in the second period and a whole third period to go.
Draw is won by the Wolves, but it goes back over the blue line. Carter Jr. wasn't able to get to it. Little side pass to Corgan. He uses his foot to corral it. Grant Mentee skating behind the cage. Redoubles his efforts. Grab check, though. Able to win it back from him. Corgan possesses. Dumps it off for Lord. Looks to reset with Carter. Lost the puck for a moment. Waffle boards it across. Grab check. Lord fired in near side. Wasn't able to be contained, but then eventually is off a deflection. Good save there on the part of Najeko. .205 to go in a period that the Thunder wish was over about 15 minutes ago. They have allowed 4 unanswered in this second period. Only Venstrom, though, going to get a one-on-one opportunity. Potential open net. Fantastic deflection in the area, but a redirect. And scores. Eric Melso. It looked like Weber may have had a hand on it, too. You got to look at the replay to see who's actually getting credit here. But the Thunder back on the board, people.
Exactly what they needed right there as we take another look, and I think Melso was just in the perfect place, perfect time.
Where his pass goes back. Yeah, and it skated low the whole time. So Weber went to kind of knife that out of midair, but it was on the ground. So give the goal to Eric Melso. And a nice strike for the forward. 6th goal of the season in 17 games for the Thunder. Now this is where momentum could come into big help for the Thunder right now. They're applying more pressure on the offensive zone, but the Wolves are able to work out of it. And now a concerning pass up to Matthias Tellstrom. Wilson, Moskal gains the zone. Looked like he was going to shoot, opts to go behind the cage instead. Centering pass, intercepted by Delaney. And TJ Delaney plays it up and in. 2 Wolves players collide there for a second. Baker is the one who goes down. Ivanov steps across, plays it along the blue line to Danilo Miloshkin, who flicks it back. Wilson will follow in behind. Has to fight on McGuire, though. Tellstrom to it first. Elijah Wilson across. Rocco Di Costanza nearly had a hand on it. And just crossing the blue line a fraction of a second early. Enough to get the offsides whistle. 45 seconds to go in period 2. The Thunder have finally stopped the bleeding. But truly, with an uninspiring goal, more inspiring would be another one here in these next 45 seconds.
It would be big if they could cut the deficit to 3 here, as it's really been the third quarter of the Wolves. Thunder trying to read pages.
Marquis Grant Mentee nearly provided that third goal, but Liskowitz had it pop out of the trapper for a second, but it looked like he was just testing himself there as he corrals it a fraction of a second later.
He's had a really good game. The Thunder haven't gotten too many opportunities with shots on goal, but when they have, he's been able to shut it down. I say that as they did just score a goal, though, as Melso was able to come up with a big one. If you're the Thunder, just keep attacking him.
And give credit to Austin Weber on that. Even though he wasn't able to complete the stick movement, he kind of shielded Liskowitz, keeping his eyes just a little bit preoccupied. Grant Mentee fired one in there, bounced off the ankle of Krabchek, and now Lord is gaining into the offensive zone. Inside of 30 seconds, fired near side, and a tough but made save by Jacob Najeko. DiCostanzo and Corgan fight. 25 seconds to go. Wolves keeping it in the offensive zone. Lord went for the hat trick. Lost it away. Charlie Penns Jr. will skate back with it. Passes across the ice. Now it goes center to Corgan. Gains the zone. One last opportunity for Watertown here as we're inside of single digits. Penns gets a skate to it. Comes around. Centering pass. Corgan would have had the baseball swing of a lifetime had that one found the back of the twine. The Watertown Wolves dominated period 2. They just brought the heat early and often. First, it was Trevor Lord with the forehand after some creative deking. Then Sam Hrabchek or Parker Moscow beating his off or defensive goalie. And then Hrabchek fired that one across. There were 3 unanswered, then it became 4 unanswered on that one. The shot fired in and the very first FPHL goal for Zach Horn. That's how the sausage is made, kiddos, and that's where we are right now. Watertown, a dominant 6-2 lead. Could the Thunder turn it around, though, and give these fans the comeback of the year? We'll find out soon enough on the Delmarva Sports Network. Thanks for joining us for FPHL Hockey. If our Canadian color commentator was with us here today, he'd say, oh boy, this doesn't look good for the Thunder, huh? Real bad. Too bad he's not here. Zach Barnes alongside Kayla Santiago. Much happier to have her here alongside us tonight. The Delaware Thunder having a rough time, especially after period number 2. Kayla, it just seemingly fell apart there for Delaware for a second. Just lost all momentum. We're able to get one back kind of on a lucky sort of break. Eric Melso getting the goal, but that was a Watertown period through and through.
Yeah, I don't know what they said back in the locker room after that first period, but it was completely changed. They just look a lot more faster and a lot more physical on the ice out there, defensively and offensively. I think the Thunder struggled a lot to get back, and that left their goalie kind of alone on an island as well. And offensively, they just weren't able to get in any type of rhythm. Maybe that goal towards the end of that second period will give them more momentum in the third period. I'm sure a comeback, as you mentioned, at the end of that timing there. The fans would love, they would love, especially against this team. But yeah, I mean, the second period, Watertown just completely controlled that whole entire thing.
Yeah, they controlled center ice. They controlled the neutral zone. They controlled their own offensive zone. And when Delaware dared to come into their own defensive zone, they were quick to clash on it. Let's take a look at highlights from the second period. There's a whole lot of Watertown here, though, folks. Just a fair warning for you. Replays are brought to you by 93.5. Delmarva's premier rock station. Could be America's, too. The very first attempt, knifing opportunity, lots of deking all around, but Trevor Lord adds the second one of the game for him, goal number 11 this year.
Yeah, and he is looking for the hat trick here tonight. Still a whole third period to play, as he tonight has just been so spectacular, especially when it's been one-on-one. You can tell the stick work has improved. When he leaves the goalie on an island, it makes it really, really tough for the opposing team.
Yeah, and Jaco has been behind on pretty much all of these one-on-one attempts. Moments later, he gets beat right here. Parker Moskal, this was the lucky break. It really saved him. Moskal was trying the old bank shot there, maybe off the skate or off of the back of Njeko, but he was able to feel that one in between his thighs and stop play. Then this one, that's where he gets beat. There were one replay too early there. Parker Moskal eventually cashing out at the doorstep, getting Njeko to go fully prone before making the big play. Give Jacob credit, trying to extend that stick there to maybe make a really clutch interception, but that pass was just too fast. Gave Moskal his second of the game. Danila Milushkin came in on the inside. Just lost that puck there, though, for a second. That was the Thunder's best attempt pretty much throughout the second period. Then it was a big goal. Scored in by Chris Corgan, who they gave the credit to on the deflection. Sam Krabchek, though, was the one who was able to fire it in initially.
And they just really, they just kept this coming throughout this whole entire second period. The offense, the defense just not getting back. And a really good goal there, the first of his career.
Zach Horn, how about it? Hats off to number 26. Took him 11 games to get there, but he's got to be happy that it doesn't have to take him any more to get that. I think that was just an instance of Njeko just being kind of shielded for a moment. That was the Thunder's lone rebuttal for this period. Austin Weber and Eric Melso involved in that, but Melso's actually going to get the goal credit for the backhander there. Started as a pass, but turns into a great shot. Special stuff, but Kayla, is there a way in your mind that the Thunder can turn this around? Is there a way that they end up earning the victory that the fans want so badly against a rival like Watertown?
I think just about getting their conditioning up at this point. I think you talk about being in the game mentally as well for this Thunder team. I get they're down 4 goals at this moment. For them, they probably haven't come back from deficit at all like that this year. But at the same time, you got to get back defensively. You cannot allow Njeko to be on an island, especially because he's not your number one goalie. He's not the guy that's been playing with them all year. He's not the guy that gets the first drives in practice, and that's what's been happening right there. I think that if you do that, then you can kind of turn that into some offense and try to get some sets out there, because right now offensively they're just not able to get into any momentum whatsoever.
Now Trevor Martin is on loan to another team within the FPHL, which is why he is not here tonight. Hence, Jacob Njeko being the only active starting goaltender, the active starter here for the Thunder tonight. That being said, folks, stats are coming your way here in our second intermission break. It is the second intermission, though, heading into period 3 here on DSN. Stick with us. Around for the third period of action, despite the team trailing by 4 goals right now. So we did get confirmation during that commercial break. Trevor Martin on loan currently in the ECHL. So Martin making the level up as well. He's getting the chance right now with the Reading Royals in Pennsylvania.
It's well-deserved. I mean, we've talked about how he's been a big centerpiece for the squad this season. He's been a bright light for them, and you feel his absence on the ice, especially tonight in this game. But, I mean, he's the real deal, and I think that he's really going to succeed, and it's good to see somebody who played for the Thunder being able to make the move up.
Also getting the call up to the ECHL, in case you missed it earlier, was Houston Wilson. He is back, though. Was up with the Royals himself for a quick week. Is now back for action here in Delaware. Statistics. For some people, it's their favorite class in college. For other people, it's something they don't want to look at. For you guys, you probably want to look at it, though, because, you're watching the game. And they are not pretty. After the first period, things were pretty even keel, but as we get a chance to look at the numbers from this second period of play, things have changed here. The shots is the big thing that jumps off to me, Kayla.
Yeah, I would say the same thing as well. Penalty minutes, I mean, even though Watertown has more, it hasn't really hindered them at all in this second period. But the shots for Watertown, just the ability for them to be able to square up to the net and be able to get so many shots on goal has really been their success. They've just been peppering the defense of the Thunder so far tonight. And right now, I mean, Watertown just a more aggressive team, defensively, offensively, and it's really showing. And you still have a long game left to play, but if the Wolves come out with the same intensity they did in the second period, the Thunder are going to have to talk some things over.
We have 2 hat-trick potential candidates to also keep our eyes on. Parker Moskal, surprise, surprise, he is the team point leader by a massive margin. 59 this year, counting his 2 goals tonight. The next closest player on the Watertown Wolves, 29, Elijah Wilson. He has cemented himself as the #1 player on this team. He's also the only player on the team with over 200 shots on goal. The next closest player is Trevor Lord at 156. And speaking of the second hat-trick candidate, yes, Trevor Lord, who was a former Delaware Thunder man himself, played the entire season here last year, but now is in a much different reality. Assistant coach Luke Cohen looking on to things right now for his Watertown squad. Just checking out the ice, how it looks before his guys retake out there. This is going to take a whole lot of determination, mojo, moxie, and game planning, to say the very least, if the Thunder want to overcome this 4-goal deficit and at least have a chance for overtime.
What we do know is the Thunder faithful are going to stick around nevertheless, and hope, of course, to see exactly what you're talking about there, Zach, as Watertown jamming out to the music being played here at the Thunderdome. They're all in good spirits. On the other side, for the Thunder, I mean, it's just about as Ben Membrino, our cameraman, also enjoying the music here playing at the Thunderdome. So what the fans also want to enjoy, though, is a Thunder win, and that's going to take a whole lot of strength, and as you mentioned, Zach, a whole lot of determination down by 4 goals.
Could Evanescence be the rallying call for Delaware? We're going to find out soon enough. Take a quick step aside here on the Delmarva Sports Network, but when we return, the third and potentially final period, Thunder down 4. Mm-hmm. Yep. Thumbs up. Yep.
What?
Thumbs up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Yeah.
The type, A1.
Yep. I could double check. I could double take, and that would be Sydney. You know?
I was about to say that, but I was like, low key, the glasses and everything.
She looks like.
Did you ever meet her?
No, he never met her.
Yeah, that was before we got.
Because that was Laurencia.
Oh my God.
That was that
yes.
long ago.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because she and I split in May.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
When did you start with us? July?
No, he was here for launch.
You were here for the launch?
But I don't think that we...
Really?
He was
You've been here for a year? Oh my God.
Slam dunk is when he, slam dunks is when he
That's
started.
right.
But I don't think, we did
Anything.
where she was at.
Well, also you lived in Millsboro at the time, right?
Yeah.
So that's why you were never around.
But the last thing I remember when she was at it was when we had that, traditional launch party in October when we,
Yes.
announced we were going to be a network.
Yeah.
And then I think
Philadelphia's most famous fictitious sports figure. Sylvester Stallone is real, though. Rocky is fake. But
it's all about the comeback. Getting knocked down, but never giving up, and we'll see if the Thunder can utilize that in period number 3.
it would be the comeback of all comebacks. Delaware has not surpassed a 4-goal differential the entire season. Yellow knee knifes that one out of the air. Eric Oganezov ends up with it. Oganezov wearing that face mask after sustaining an injury last night. Flicks across. Watertown still inside, and Yellow knee will fire that one all the way up and into the netting. So interesting first little line here from both teams, who seem to be okay not to use their first lines, so to speak, in that opening set, kind of spreading them out among various forwards. So right now the group out there for the Thunder: Ivanov, DiCostanza, Grant Mentee, Daniluk, Jacob Wolf, and then of course Najeko in between the pipes. For Watertown, it's Tellstrom, Elijah Wilson, Parker Moskal, Colton McGuire, and Baker. McGuire feeds across, playing it along the blue line. Delaware corrals it. Good defensive opening possession right now for the Thunder. Jacob Wolf begins skating at pace. Tried the backhand, but lost control. Now rebattles for the puck. Links up with DiCostanza at the doorstep. Grant Mentee fired that one just below the mask of Liskowitz. Turnover, though, for Watertown. Staying in the offensive zone. Grant Mentee had it for a second. It was taken away by Moskal.
It's more of what you want to see from the Thunder, peppering the goalkeeper. Exactly what we mentioned. Too many shots on goal compared to what the Thunder had. And right now, Delaware opening up with having a lot of opportunities early on.
Good intensity, too. They'll stay intense in the offensive zone off the icing. Melso loses the draw to Moskal there. Parker's been extremely talented inside of the center tonight. As he gains the zone on the right, is held up for a second, though, by Mo Valley. Chopped across the blue line. Gingerich is able to field it, bounces around, and goes up into the netting. Chris Corrigan now in the center with Melso. Eric wins the draw. In this tumultuous year for the Thunder, there's been a lot of growth for a ton of these players, including the 5 that are on the ice right now. Backhanded opportunity missed away. Krabchek will deal it back to Carter. But it's almost been kind of wild, Kayla, for us to kind of watch some of these young men grow up, so to speak, with the Thunder uniform, including the likes of, even though his tenure has been short, Danila Malushkin, but even still with guys like Dmitry Daniluk and Austin Weber. Been fun watching that growth and development.
Yeah, we talked about earlier this season, they're the youngest team in this league as well, so these guys are growing really before our eyes as we see them each and every home Saturday. And just as, they only have 5 wins on the season, but every single game they're learning and growing something, and that's just going to prepare them more for wherever they end up a year from now, or if they're back here and trying to grow this Thunder team and this program.
Yeah, and Charlie Penn's Jr., the owner of this franchise, Venstrom gets into the center. Wilson fired it on, pops it up. But Charlie always talks about how with this team being so young, there's so many ways to just build your kind of offense. Shot from Toivo Hanakainen, grabbed easily by Liskowitz. But Kayla, I think it's a tough identity to embrace early on, being at the very bottom of the table and being there by a good margin. But you think about the youth on this team, between players like Wilson, Daniluk, Delaney, who's just 23 years old. There are so many good things ahead if they're able to keep some of these key players around, especially for next season.
And I think it's a mixture of, too, these guys, might be feeling defeated, but you just have to keep reiterating that this is a learning year. This is going to be a learning curve, and it's only to grow for the future and the development for them as individual players and also as the program and as a team.
Knifing cut on the inside there from Dabari. Now played alongside the cage and repossessed by the Thunder and Toivo Hanakainen. Brings it up. Yellow knee brings the slap shot. Missed it. Toivo's got to play without the stick. Does retrieve it, though. Dabarty cuts inside, fires. Easy glove save made. Thunder had a little bit of difficulty just clearing that puck there.
We've seen, some good things from Njeko in this game as well. He has really quick reflexes, good reactions. Once again, really the first time we've seen him here on DSN. We've seen a lot of Trevor Martin and what he's been able to do moving up here today.
Parker Moskal, had just cut in. That came in off the draw. That was so quick, I think every fan in here missed it.
And he has a hat trick.
A hat trick. I don't think we're seeing any hats come on the ice, though. I'm checking. No, doesn't look like it. Parker Moskal, though, real quick off the draw. Adds the 7th for Watertown.
It's tough right there. Once again, Njeko just getting stuck on one side, and Moskal just reading it perfectly in the upper left echelon of that net.
25 goals this year for Parker Moskal. 3 have come tonight. 2 were last night. Ivanov resets, but now directly over Elijah Wilson. Almost made it 8 there for a second, but Njeko able to get to that one.
And you can tell this Watertown team just keeps wanting more once again. A lot of these players on a Thunder team a year ago or earlier this season, they're not going to give anything up easy, and they're not just going to stop scoring.
Parker Moskal now just adding tonight. 60 points now on the season. He's an extremely special player. Something tells me the FPHL won't be his home for very much longer. Lord was able to get a stick to it there across the red line, so no icing. Oganezov plays it across the boards to Grant Mentee. Melso skates over it creatively, then dumps it back across the boards. Oli Venstrom in pursuit. Brandon Baker there to chase it back. Now he flicks it. Picked up and possessed. Chris Corrigan gaining the zone quickly. Corrigan's opportunity is corralled. Najeko had it in his hand. The Trapper save will keep this nice and steady.
And right now, Delaware Thunder just look exhausted at the moment. I mean, it's tough when you're constantly have to getting back on defense, can get no offensive momentum going, but I know they're down by a reasonable margin right now. There's still a lot of time left, though. I mean, you just got to play right now. So maybe try to cut this a little bit closer and give these fans something to cheer about.
They have been a bit silent here inside of the Thunderdome, as we will get an icing on the errant pass that came down the ice from Toivo Hanakainen. And Kayla kind of right on cue as we get a quick timeout in the action inside of the 15-minute mark here. That exhaustion is only multiplied when you're spending so much time in the defensive zone just chasing the puck time and time again. And Watertown's an aggressive cycling team. They don't have someone possessed really for more than a second before that puck is off his stick and onto somebody else.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to control right now. It's tough to figure it out. And it's also, you know, frustration settling in, too, that they feel like they're getting back and just unable to retrieve exactly what this Watertown Wolves team is doing. It's really was a close game in that first period. We saw really good things from the Thunder. And I think the Wolves just took the wind out of the sails for the Thunder in that second period and have continued to do so for the majority of this contest. But listen, Delaware Thunder, once again, they're a very young team. They're the youngest in the league. And at this point, this is just a chance for you to see what else you can do in this matchup right now. You know Watertown's not just going to say, all right, we scored 7 goals, that's it. We know the rivalry these two teams have and the chirping, they're going to go back and forth at each other.
Charlie Pence Jr. just asked me, what did I tell you on the call before? These guys are just having fun now. I mean, they're all just enjoying themselves in a big way.
And on the other side of things for the Wolves, it has to feel good, right? I mean, you're coming back to a team that you lost to earlier in the year, a team that had a lot of Thunder players on the other side last year, and you have that rivalry. Once again, no matter what, you want to win a game like this, and the margin you're not going to keep lower just because it's still the game of hockey.
Little bit of a tie-up there between the officials and TJ Delaney, who was sent out from the center in exchange for Houston Wilson, which isn't a bad second option on the inside. Wilson kind of lobs that one in there. Liskowitz easily freezing it. But yeah, a big game, Kayla, for Watertown just in terms of repositioning themselves for the postseason push that will be coming in a couple of months. After tonight, if the results hold, they will have won 3 in a row, and the goals for average will finally be above 3. They had that mark earlier this season, but came up on some hard offensive times. Colton McGuire passes up to Yellowknee, who will flick that one down. Toivo Hanakainen has to chase with it. Dabari lost his footing, though. Repossessed. Zach Horn goes to Dabari. Was looking for the centering pass, didn't have it, then tries for Yellowknee again. And that one went wide. Baker faked the hard shot. Dabari with it again. Back into Baker. Tried to play it across the boards, but Oganezov caught it with his waist. Houston Wilson gains the zone. Nice hit there from Yellowknee, who will force the offsides. Tremendous defensive play from number 8.
This Wolves team, I think, is a completely different team than we saw too earlier this year. Just very complete in all assets, and you could tell that the first period was too close for comfort. And on the other side for the Thunder, it's a learning game for them. It's a learning experience. They were able to get on a little bit of a streak where they were able to get some big victories that felt good for the players.
The progress will not stall even with a loss tonight. It certainly is going to be a difficult loss, though, for this program, just because of the history that so many of these players have in terms of playing and competing against each other. Great frequency.
With the amount of coaches that we, talk to, whether it's at the pro level, college, or high school, a lot of them say, we learn sometimes a lot more from our losses than we do our wins. What we can do better, what you can work on, what you liked, what you didn't like. There's also a level of youth and experience on the ice as well. So there's a lot of things. Once again, the game's not over just yet, but the Wolves have just really commanded ever since the second period on. There's a lot of things the Thunder will be able to learn from this. And their streak, not going to be able to get back on it right now, but don't be surprised if they surprise with some wins after this game.
Things start back up here as the Thunder try to clear their own defensive zone. Have had all kinds of trouble with that. Puck is taken away by Gingerich and is going to go off of the boards. Next weekend, Delaware is back inside of the Thunder Dome. They'll be hosting Port Huron for a 2-game series. And an important note for Thunder fans out there, Friday's puck drop at 7:30. Meanwhile, Saturdays will be at the traditional 7 o'clock. But Port Huron rolling this year at points should make for an interesting contest. Prowlers have been successful here and there as we've got a quick stoppage in play. 21-17-3 right now. One of the top teams in the Continental Division. The standings overall, we don't have a graphic for you, but we'll tell you. Columbus River Dragons atop all right now, 90 points, 31-6-3. Carolina, the Thunderbirds, are right behind them, 28-8-2, and then Port Huron in the Continental, and then in the Empire it is Danbury, 29-6-5, and Binghamton, 26-10-2. Rounding out the Empire, Watertown in third place, Elmira fourth, and then Delaware with the 5 spot. That one almost took a fan out over there as it just jumped up and away.
Luckily, nobody in the spot where that puck went, with fans going to retrieve it once again to get some souvenirs. Right now, things slowing down on both sides for a little bit.
Delaware repossesses the puck, but turns it over quickly. Pence Jr. on the interception. Mentee lost control of the knifing pass, and offsides is called for quickly. They got Chase DeBari there, just coming across the ice. A little overly excited to be able to make the play.
Thunder faithful still sticking around.
Love that.
Make sure they stay till the end. I was always a true believer, if you go to a game, no matter how bad or how good your team's playing, you stay till the end.
No, I agree. What if you see something unbelievable?
Right, you never know. Comebacks can happen. They're not unheard of.
And even then, just a superstar play in garbage time. You know where it's the worst? Baseball.
Yeah, I made my family stay at a 15-1 Phillies game once, and the Phillies were not up, just because I wanted to see if they would come back in the 9th inning. Spoiler alert, they did not.
Another shot and score. Dakota Seaman went 5-hole. That's not funny. What Kayla said was, though. Oh, God bless your parents. Big goal scored, though, there by Dakota Seaman. His very first in a Watertown Wolves uniform.
2 firsts tonight for the Watertown Wolves. This team's got to be feeling good all around.
Oh, to say the very least, especially with 8 on that scoreboard right now. Hey, we talked about what's coming up for Delaware. Might as well look at what's next for Watertown. They're going even further south and will continue their road trip, which will continue for quite some time. In fact, the entire month of March, Watertown not at home. They'll take on the Mississippi Seawolves in a 2-game series. Puck drops at 8:05 both nights for that. Thunder back into the offensive zone. At this point, they're just playing to pad the stats. Locked around, Corgan put the stick in there perfectly to be able to cancel things out. Pens Jr. will reset behind the cage. Dropping in on 11 minutes to go. Pens Jr. raises his hand, looks over to the crowd. Maybe got some family there. Said he relishes the opportunity to play in front of family. Looks forward to it as we've got a penalty, delayed one on the way. Puck still possessed here by the Wolves. Extra attacker is on. It's Parker Moskal. Baker goes across to Corgan. Now played across the point. Baker to Grabcheck. Goes across to Corgan, and it was finally touched there by Marquis Grant-Mentee. And this penalty most likely coming, I think, to Eric Oganezov, who was the one to hold in there for a brief moment. Figure that's what the call is, but we'll see from the official.
Yeah, it looks like it will be, as Lord trying to go for the hat trick. The Thunder did not want that to happen, and the officials saw that all the way.
So 2 minutes on the way here for the Thunder. Penalty assessed against Eric Oganezov, despite the 22 shown to the fans. It was just 2 who was there for it. And now the Wolves. They've already been picking this defense apart. Could they do it again here on the power play? That one went a little bit too far. Moskal's going to have to go back and check things out. Nice inadvertent puck for Delaware. Moskal pressing ahead. Goes to Wilson. Dekes around, takes the shot towards the up left corner, but it missed everything. Just ends up hitting glass. Moskal's got to go back and chase after it, but in pursuit is Houston Wilson. Moskal plays ahead. Wilson jockeys with him. And Parker good to just reset. Maybe that urgency to score and pile it on. Not as feverish as it was when this game was even 6-2. Seaman retrieves that one. Goes across ice to Moskal. Gains the zone on the left. Fires across to Yellowknee, who lost it off the tape. Lord repossesses. 2 sticks together. They cancel. Wolf was in on the defensive play. Look at Yellowknee. Little slice through. Centering pass went in. DiCostanzo there to knock it down. Thunder looking to clear. And a big hit there. Jacob Wolf staring down Elijah Wilson. Those two are jawing towards each other. As Moskal's got the puck. Back behind the cage. 24 seconds to go here in the power play for Watertown. Don Carter Jr. the target on that one. Danilo Malushkin lifting the stick nicely. But Dabari fires one in. It went off of the skate of Movalli. Cycled across now, and Pens retrieves.
Movalli doing a really good job of getting out in front there.
Yeah, he's not a stat patter guy at all, but the minutes he plays out here, and he is a big body, great enforcer. Just provides a ton of physicality as the stick comes in. Nicely played there for a second. A new addition to the Thunder is also out there. Andrew Lytle playing in his second game for Delaware. We haven't heard his name much tonight, but he is the extra skater. We have seen at some miscellaneous points, but mainly late in this game. Tellstrom lost the stick and is going to skate off the ice. He's been looking for calls in the offensive zone, but unable to retrieve them. Marquis Grant-Mentee lost control of the puck for a second. Dumped back in and around. Pens laid a nice hit on him. Reset, Melso clears it out from the blue line. Yellowknee able to get to it first. Popped up in the air and over the head of Ivanov. Now Seaman and Daniluk go back to chase. Dakota wins the puck away after going right then left. But it's back with Delaware. Malushkin Had to get away from him for a moment. Yellow knee, shot opportunity, goes up and into the netting. Souvenir City now for the fans.
You could tell he really wants that goal badly, and a lot of his has been going sky high here today. It's crazy Watertown. Again, just a little bit disappointed that some of their goals aren't going in when they have a 6-goal lead at the moment, but it just shows the competitors that they have. On the other side, the Thunder doing a really good job right now of closing out and trying not to let any more offensive damage happen.
Very difficult night for this young man. Jacob Njeko, wearing the number 38 tonight. I hurt for him. These are performances that it's got to be hard to have a short memory about, Kayla.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to be put in this situation, especially against a team that you know your squad has a little bit of a past with, a little bit of history, a little bit of bad blood, and you're taking over for Trevor Martin, who, once again, we've mentioned time and time again, just has been such a bright spot for this team. And you're expected just to hop in there in a big game like this against a big rival to kind of be on the same page as your squad when you're probably only getting those second-man reps in practice, when you're not getting a lot of real game playing time. Real game playing time is completely different than practice time. So, once again, a learning experience for the Thunder team, but also for him is best of luck to Martin. If he stays up a level, then he'll be getting a little bit more playing time in the near future.
Njeko in just 8 games, 184 minutes of ice time, though. Big collision that involved Toivo Hannakainen there, but he is okay. Getting up and skating ahead, Marquis Grant-Mentee, and a quick freeze by Liskowitz, who has had a brisk evening, to say the least. But going back to the Thunder's man in between the pipes, Njeko figures to pick up another loss. Unfortunately, tonight will move him to 0-3-1. So no wins for Jacob this season. All the wins for the Thunder, of course, coming under the goaltendership of Trevor Martin. But Njeko had kind of an explosive redemption in period 1, and then it just kind of started falling apart. He's been tested 27 times tonight, saved 19 of them, 70% overall. Oh, he might have lost another one there as Lord nearly had his hat trick. Cycled back up top, shot comes in, and nicely blocked away there for a second. Brandon Baker brought that one in. Corgan tries, and now another shot opportunity that is trapped in between the 5-hole. Njeko comes up with another stump.
So just as we're reading off his statistics, a really good set of saves and opportunity there for Njeko. And once again, I mean, this is a game that he's going to watch tape of and be like, I can do this, this, and that better. I liked what I did during this shot, during this play. And he's going to get more playing time now that Trevor Martin has moved up. We'll see how long Trevor Martin stays up at the next level. Of course, we wish him the best of luck.
Shot on the doorstep there. Yellow knee got a nice pass from Dabari, but it just missed. Now a little tie-up along the boards. Goes back. Dabari tried to knife through and get it, but DiCostanzo beat him there. Yellow knee fires an absolute rocket off the spin. Knocked away off the elbow blocker. And now Yellow knee trying the near side shot opportunity. Net was closed off, though. Nice goaltending to Njeko there. Played over to Wolf, goes off his skate, ends up with Dabari, and this has been just the undoing of Delaware as they get an own goal. The shot came in. It bounces off of DiCostanzo and in. Chase Dabari credited with the goal, and he might be a fan favorite over there as he is just being absolutely mobbed, throws his stick, and embraces the one that comes next to his name tonight, his 4th goal of the season in 15 games.
Unlucky bounce there. You have the Thunder defender standing right there, and for Njeko, you got to feel for the guy right now. I mean, nothing just going the way in his favor tonight, and once again, Watertown's not going to make it an easy game at all. Just because they're up big doesn't mean they're going to stop.
Delaware had just struggled to leave the defensive zone. Njeko, I mean, he just protected the crease extraordinarily well there for a good couple of shot attempts. But it was the undoing by his own roster. Not purposefully, of course, but bad bounce just leads to that chance. Don Carter goes to Baker. The pace has slowed considerably for both teams now, as this one is all but decided. Now it's all about just getting some statistics out there. Marquis Grant-Mentee skating in on the inside, tried a backhanded shot, deflected away by Liskowitz. Playing it forward, Melso, interception, backhanded shot. Ends up going off the chest blocker. Reset to Ollie Venstrom. Played in towards the inside, Marquis Grant-Mentee unable to finish. Colton McGuire skating at pace, goes through the legs of Ivanov. And now centering pass, missed everything. And we got ourselves a nice little scrap here. Parker Moskal is fighting with the 5'7" Marquis Grant-Mentee. And officials break that one up easily. That will be the night here for Grant-Mentee, who's all smiles as he heads to the box. It'll also do it for Parker Moskal.
And Moskal holding out the 3 symbol, saying, man, I got a hat trick, but Thunder fans loving it, getting into it. Of course, they know the history between these two teams. If they're fans that watched this team last year, they've seen some of these guys in Thunder uniforms a year ago. So it's a whole lot of back and forth with under 5 left to go.
You know, usually when someone makes a hand gesture to the opposing bench, it's got a lot less fingers.
Yeah.
But Moskal's got every reason to throw 3 tonight. He has been on another level, surpassing 60 points this evening on an assist and 3 goals, giving him 61 this year. He entered this game with 217 shots on goal. He's going to leave with over 225.
Him, along with the rest of this team offensively, just have been unstoppable. But the goals he was able to get and the creation he was able to have has just been spectacular tonight. As you said, Zach, wouldn't be surprised if he gets called up here sooner or later, because he is just an absolute weapon on the offensive side of things.
This is a fitting fight song, Kung Fu Fighting.
Whoever the DJ is or whoever plays the music is always on cue with what's happening at the moment. I will say that.
It's very timely music.
Yeah. It's a better word for it.
No. It was just a different word.
Different word.
Your word was good. Jacob Najeko ready to get things going again as the officials are going to talk things over to assess the penalty minutes here. Luke Cohen getting talked to here by the officials for a second, the assistant coach. I don't know if I could pull a green off like that if I wore that. It would match my eyes, though, a little bit. No, I don't have green eyes.
I was going to say.
It would go well with my eyes.
What do you have, hazel eyes, brown eyes?
Yeah, call it that.
We'll call it hazel. It's a nice color green. Not something I would wear every day, but some people can pull it off, as Moskal now ended the bench.
You know, that's why trying to see what Parker Moskal is saying to his coach here for a second. You buy something like that, you know, it's perfect for St. Patrick's Day, too, which is right around the corner.
Absolutely.
Or you could wear some midnight green.
I'll just wear one of my Eagles jerseys I have, even though they broke my heart a little bit. Perfect for St. Patty's Day.
We won't go any further than that.
We won't go any further.
I'm talking about the Birds. So a penalty here assessed to, believe it or not, Parker Moskal for 2 minutes. So the Thunder are on the man advantage here. Marquis Grant-Mentee is in the box, though, for fighting and is done for the evening, unless the Thunder are able to score 7 in 4.5 minutes. But even with a man advantage right now, Delaware just continuing to struggle to get out of their own zone. Danila Malushkin is still tied up back there. Rabchek applying pressure, but Wilson finally able to do so And flicked back immediately by Penns. The cohesion has been lost by Delaware. And I don't know when it happened, but it's been difficult to bounce back from. Malushkin went through his legs, backhanded shot, missed away. Venstrom ends up with it, flicks it over to Delaney. TJ Delaney centers himself, fires in. That one off the elbow blocker of Liskowitz. Played up towards the blue line. Ivanov retreats, fires in. That one almost redirected, but initially bounced off the chest of Penns Jr. Ivanov to Malushkin, fakes the shot, goes inside, centering pass, inadvertent, but Delaney is on the board again. A successful power play for the Delaware Thunder. Both of them that have been successful tonight have come off the stick of number 23. TJ Delaney has 2.
And that has to feel good for TJ Delaney here tonight. Things not necessarily going their way. Just able to take a deep breath, though. Smile on his face right there, and finally able to get something going here in the third period. It's been a tough going, but for the Thunder, they want to be able just to keep it up.
6th goal of the season for Delaney. Oh, look at this. We went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. Big hands thrown by Dakota Seaman here. Working in on Dmitry Daniluk. Massive right hands. Seaman is just relentless. Some words exchanged at jaw on the floor there for a moment. That was Justin Movalli. We've seen him be the enforcer time and time again. That's the ball game for Dakota Seaman. He's perfectly okay to leave on that note. Number 88, fresh from Elmira, just a couple hours down the road, has caused another stoppage here. Those gloves went down quick and so far away from the play, too. It was kind of caught us all off guard for a second.
And that's where I don't think we saw enough fighting in the first period between the bad blood that we so talked about earlier in our pregame. It's starting to happen now.
Does that make it 4 fights? Did the over hit?
I believe so. Well,
the over hit if you bet with the DSN gang that talked beforehand. We didn't actually wager anything.
No money thrown, but we do our research on these teams, and we know from the last time we first called these games that there is some bad blood, so.
But why can't we be friends is also a nice little testament to that. They're picking out all the bangers for fighting. We're inside of 3.5 minutes now. Delaware Thunder just trying to keep the home crowd satisfied if they can add a couple more here to shrink their goal deficit this season, but Watertown going to move to 17-20-3. Delaware will be 4-33-3. And again, the Thunder hosting Port Huron here next weekend. Looking forward to that opportunity. And then on Saturday night, we'll be back with Port Huron again, and that game, of course, will be right here on the Delmarva Sports Network. It's the perfect appetizer to watch John Jones and Cyril Gahn fight that night, the return of the former UFC light heavyweight champion.
I'm super excited for that. Start off with Thunder, then to watch a little bit of UFC. John Jones, such a good fighter, one of the best in the light heavyweight division.
Well, you'll watch some fighting on the ice and then a little bit of fighting inside the cage.
And of course, Harrington State Fairgrounds known too for stellar fights.
Yes.
We cover, so a lot goes on at the fairgrounds. You got Center Ice Arena, you got stellar fights, stellar State Fair, all the good stuff. Able to do so much here.
I was going to say, don't forget the fair.
Of course not. Never been, but we always got something going on.
You got to come here and get a deep fried Oreo.
That sounds good.
Your life will change. Flicked up in the air. Liskowitz plays it down. He's been staying away from those fried Oreos. Super composed tonight inside the crease.
What do you think a hockey player's diet is? No fried Oreos.
Only on Fridays.
Only on Fridays before the Saturday games.
Any professional any professional athlete's diet. God, words are hard. Good carbs, lots of protein. Some good fat bombs here and there for added energy and fuel. Oh boy, could double digits be coming up? Oh, centering pass to Corrigan, almost made it that way. As the Wolves reset. Intensity starting to pick back up here inside of these last 2 minutes. Fights have the tendency to do that on these kinds of games. Trevor Lord is still eyeing the hat trick. Tried to finish shorthanded, unable to do so. Big save made by Najeko. Played over across. Lord has to chase back for it. Plays it along. Back inside. Corrigan retrieves. From the backhand. Crab check. Dumps it off for Lord. Now back to grab check. Baker fires inside. Corrigan wrapping it around. I think they're looking for Trevor Lord here to get his hat trick.
Yeah, that's what it seems like right now. They're looking to get it inside to him. Thunder has been doing a good job of trying to cut that off.
Lord's got it again. Tries, but is deflected. Najeko. We're inside of 60 seconds. Most of the fans still very much here as Lord takes a shot. Went into the netting there, but no call. Resets Telstrom. Oganezov had it poked away by Lord. Wilson trying to get rid of it. Pressure still being applied. Trevor Lord regains. He's going to take another shot here. No, resets. Danilo Malushkin on the interception. Begins pressing across. Gets that over to Delaney. Hat-trick candidate of our own here in Delaware. Played up top. Toivo Hanakainen fires one in. Went wide left. Repossessed. Chris Corrigan lifts the stick and gets back. Crossing into the offensive end, wants to score against his former team. Doesn't get to do it. And that should do it. Tough night at the office for the Delaware Thunder. The Watertown Wolves with a statement series here in Delaware. They outscored the Thunder 15-4 over 2 games and are on a 3-game win streak as they get ready to descend even further into the South and take on the Mississippi Seawolves next weekend, the very first weekend of March. Crazy, right?
It is crazy. Time flies so much, but the Watertown Wolves don't want their season to fly away too quickly. They're trying to keep the momentum and scoring up as they get ready for a playoff push and a big game for the Delaware Thunder to learn from.
All kinds of smiles as they head back to the locker room. They had all kinds of smiles while they were playing. Difficult night for the Thunder, who come out and honor their fans right now. But that shot, Coda Seaman, his very first goal for the Wolves, going 5-hole on that one. And then the own goal. That was when bad got worse for Delaware as Chase DeBari was waving that one off to his teammates. So as some of the guys chop it up and break things down, we'll step aside for a moment, but have our post-game show coming your way here. The Thunder unable to mount anything in that second period to contest against Watertown. A massive victory for the team from upstate New York, picking up their 17th win of the season. Stick with us, folks. Highlights, stats, and more on the way. Network. Thanks for joining us. It was a tough night at the office for the Delaware Thunder people as they fall 9-3 to Watertown. Kayla, a rough night at the office. Doesn't even begin to describe what happened to Delaware tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. You look at the first period, and I think if you're the Delaware Thunder, you say, where was that team in the second and third period? I think really they just got out physical as well. I mean, this Watertown team was quick, back to defense, back to offense, and they just looked tired. And I mean, it's really tough too when you have Njeko in goal because he's a new goalie. He's a newer goalie that you're getting used to. You have to play maybe a little bit of defense for him to get used to playing with you as well. It's not the same as Trevor Martin. Not saying that Njeko doesn't have the skill to eventually be that guy for them because that's what he might have to step into, but you're looking at a guy that's newer, what you're not used to against a Watertown team that you're essentially rivals with. So it was just a tough night all around. I think this is a game that the Thunder are going to look back and say, this is what we need to learn from. This is a learning game. As we mentioned before, they're the youngest team in the league, and this is going to be a stepping stone for them to the rest of the season and really next year as well.
Njeko's reps have been limited with Delaware at best. We're Delmarva. He's only played 9 games, counting this one tonight. Had a very difficult night at the office. Let's take a look, though, as we get a chance to see the highlights here, all brought to you by 93.5 The Beach. And, Kayla, I mean, when we kind of, take a look at everything and just see sort of the approach that Delaware was able to build upon early on, it's kind of wild that they were even able to put a 3 up there on that scoreboard because every single time they brought it down the defensive zone of Watertown, they were quick to clear it out.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good. We saw really in the first period, as we talked about before, TJ Delaney had 2 goals on the night for the Delaware Thunder. But defensively, I think they were almost felt like it was getting outnumbered a little bit, even though obviously it was the same amount of guys on the ice as well. But offensively, they just couldn't set up anything. I mean, the defense of Watertown was there. They were present every single time, and then they just made them go back and forth for the puck. And that's really, really tough, especially going up against this team back-to-back nights in a row. At this point in the Delaware Thunder, they've had some really good wins this season. This just wasn't their night. And once again, I think this is the game where they're going to have to look back and say, all right, how do we not allow a team that might be a little bit more experienced exploit our defense like that? And what do we have to do for a goalie like Njeko? Or if they have other goalies come in throughout the season with Trevor Martin being moved up, what can we do to give them a little bit of help, give them a little bit of aid so they're not left alone on an island? Because he was left alone far too many times tonight as well.
Yeah, in case you missed it earlier, Martin has been transferred to the ECHL. He's playing with the Reading Royals in Pennsylvania, but I'm sure Delaware is eager to have him back. So he's just on loan. He will return to the team at some point this season. That being said, highlights. They are on the way for you right now. 93.5 The Beach are bringing them to you. Have the opportunity to see every big score from this game. I mean, there were 12 of them in total, so there's lots to talk about. But this one came just a half minute into the contest. Trevor Lord getting back after his former team.
Yeah, and you could show and see that he wanted the vengeance here tonight. Yeah. He absolutely wanted to get on the board early, and he wanted to kind of show the Thunder what they were missing a little bit. He was able to do exactly that, a big game, and a big game from this fella as well.
Yeah, Parker Moskal coming straight out of the penalty box after a slash to get down and make a big play. Massive opportunity. This was some of the nicest offensive setup we've seen from Delaware this year. Danila Malushkin able to find Delaney, who goes to the backhand there. But solid stuff. Kind of talking about the goal that we just showed before. Delaware had a few of these bad luck kind of shots. This was not one of them, though, as Trevor Lord netting his second one. One-on-one opportunity. He was just the quicker man there and just somebody who knew exactly what he wanted to do with the puck and did it.
He's just extremely hard to stop one-on-one as well. And here we go again, just going back in. And the one thing about Njeko is that his body and his weight was to the left. It's really hard for him to transition over to the right. And Moskow's going to exploit that all day long, and he did that just on that shot a moment ago.
Then there was the rip through and history made for Zach Horn. Excuse me, that's the Sam Grabchuk goal. I'm one ahead of myself here. But Grabchuk able to get in on the madness, eventually adding one onto his total. That's the 9th goal this year. There it is. How about it? Zach Horn, very first professional hockey goal. Got to feel all kinds of fired up for number 26. So is Chase DeBari, who lets the fans hear about it. Thunder got a nice little break here. Eric Melso, backhand. Stayed low to the ice the whole time, and it was just lost there for a second by the Wolves. They didn't have the play to make it with Linkwitz.
And then Moskow here getting the hat trick. If you blinked, you might have missed it on our live coverage. He was just absolutely fantastic tonight. Extremely tough to stop.
Very much so. Dakota Seaman got after this puck, was able to beat Toivo Hannakainen in a one-on-one race to it, and went 5-hole, scoring his very first goal for Watertown.
The Thunder kind of score on themselves a little bit here. That's, once again, you mentioned it just a few moments ago, unlucky in that moment.
Extraordinarily unlucky. And it ends up totaling 9 goals in total for the visitors, just 3 for the Thunder. TJ Delaney, though, with 2 of them. He's continued to develop his game time and time again. It's got to be a reassuring sign for you Thunder fans out there. Statistics from this game are coming your way. Stick with us for the post-game show on the Delmarva Sports Network. Fairness night here inside of the Thunderdome, and that is a valuable one tonight. And TJ Delaney scored twice for this squad. The Thunder's tallest player at 6'6", getting to donate his jersey over to some very eager and willing fans who are happy to take it home. I think that's the only time you're ever going to see someone super ecstatic to take home like a really sweaty article of clothing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, but you look at this game, too, and you say, hey, he's the guy that scored 2 goals as well. And you know the Thunder faithful are always here. That could be exciting to get a jersey of maybe one of their favorite players or just a player from their favorite team as well.
I love the way that the guys are always willing to talk with the fans, especially given the fact that they have 37 losses this year. I mean, to be able to come back out and just optimistically be with these people who are here to enjoy your performance, win or lose, it's special. There's a great sense of community inside of Center Ice Arena, and I think it's something that the team should not take lightly. It's something that they value.
And I don't think that they do, and I think it might be tough, you know, to go out and have to do all of this after a really tough loss, but it also reminds them that the fans are here, win or lose. They're loyal fans, and they're going to show up to these games and make noise, whether they're winning all season long or whether they're having a really bad season. So I think for these players, it also kind of feels good for them to be able to have them here, even though they had a pretty tough night.
Let's take a look at the statistics from all of the action this evening. Just a few big numbers that ought to jump out. Penalty minutes and the score overall, but just a ton of shots that came. Oh, there they go. I was wondering what happened to them for a second. Watertown, it's not even like they're out shooting Delaware by that many. I mean, 15 is 3/4 of what Delaware was able to put together, and that's basically your deficit there. But It just seemed, I think if we kept track of time on attack or time of possession, that would be the stat that would jump off the board to you for the Watertown Wolves.
Yeah, absolutely. Because just watching this game, I mean, you look at the Thunder, and they just weren't able to get anything going or any momentum their way offensively. Every time they would try to get down their offensive zone, Watertown was sending it back the other way. So for the Delaware Thunder, shots not as bad as you would think, but watching this game, definitely time of possession, I'm sure, something that they're going to look at and say, we got to get the puck a little bit more and keep it a little bit more.
Possessing the puck is the name of the game in hockey, and unfortunately, it just wasn't the game played to perfection tonight for Delaware. But again, they will get the chance to host right inside the Thunderdome, taking on Port Huron next weekend. Kayla, you going to be on the call for that one?
I will be. Unfortunately, not with Zach because it is his last day here. So we appreciate everything you do for us and everything that you've done for us and just for the community of Delmarva. And your hockey calls are second to none. So we're excited to see where you go. And we are all very appreciative of you here of DSN and the community of Delmarva as well.
Thank you.
Don't cry yet. Don't make me cry.
No. I'm not going to take a ton of time. I just... to everybody who's watched for the last 4 years, I'm super grateful. You know, Kayla and I and Corey Nido were tasked with an interesting proposition not too long ago in building this Delmarva Sports Network. And it can't be done without our tremendous crew as well, but also some other key players along the way, our general manager, Bill Vernon, and also our lead engineer, Josh Lynch, who put together that truck you might see out on the highway from time to time. It's a beautiful piece of technology and one that I think that Draper Media has come to not only value but will continue to use and hopefully bring by your high school, college, or even your hockey rink here from time to time. I mean, I could be here for like 20 minutes, but nobody wants to hear that. I'm super grateful for my family, first and foremost, for just making, this kind of a dream a reality for me. My parents worked so hard. My sister does too. They're all in medicine. I get to be the black sheep and come to the world of sports, and I don't get that opportunity without them. So extraordinarily grateful. Another big thing, just also to the team that I talked about. I mean, Josh, you and Corey as well have been just absolutely massive, my family away from family. But everybody, please help me if I miss someone, by the way, because I have the tendency to do that right now. Our immediate staff is with us right now. Jack Kritzis, Noah Carter, Mo Ware, Manny Christian, Ben Membrino, people who are not here, Trey Beckett, Ava Krivosh, Tim Nolan, Ty Sharper, Freeman, Randolph. Who am I missing? Brian Matthias.
Your roommate,
He's
Brian
my roommate.
Matthias. Yeah,
that'd be
go.
bad. I'm sorry, Brian. He's working in news tonight. Thank God he doesn't have to see this right now. I put my all into this. When I got here, it was all regional, national sports coverage, and I felt it from everybody here that you wanted to know what was happening in your own backyard. We are Delmarva's news leader, WBOC, Draper Media. We need to be the local sports leader. And now we have the opportunity to do that and keep bringing it to you. And it's only going to grow and keep getting a lot better. We're hoping we can make it out to wherever you are in the community. It's been an amazing 4 years for me here. I'm super grateful for all of you that have said such amazing things over time. I'm going to miss this experience a lot. Thanks, guys, for joining us tonight for FPHL hockey. The Delaware Thunder were not winners. I certainly have been, for getting the chance to talk to you each and every night. Thanks for joining us. For Kayla Santiago, I'm Zach Parnes. Have a good night.